Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome and happy Monday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, whatever's trending in these good old internet streets. We chat about it on this good old show. So, if you haven't already, please do me a solid, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and also smash the notification button. So that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And it's so funny because I was literally about to accept the shift to do the Conan Gray concert. But I was like, literally, it was like 8 minutes ago. And I was like, fuck. First of all, I forgot to wash my pants for work because we have to wear uniform and stuff when I'm working up in there at the garden. And I was like, damn, so it's not going to be ready in time. So I might as well not do it. And then on top of that, it was like last minute. So I'm like, I'm going to give y'all a show. And I already had the show already done. So I was like, I can't do that. I can't just be up here, put a whole show together and be like, oh, I'm just going to go make some money real quick. So with me saying all that, if y'all want to add to the collection plate, my, where is it? Cause I know what's on here. I know I ain't get rid of it yet. My, the Chris Avalon $ the Cash App. It's in the damn description down below if y'all want to. I think I probably did get rid of it by accident. Excuse me. So yeah, if y'all want to donate to the collection plate, cause I'm poor, wink, wink. Please do so. If not, whatever. Y'all can still watch the show. But anyway, we got a lot of tea to spill today. But I will always find some tea jam. So DC, they made some more announcements in regards to some movies and stuff that they're developing. So we're getting a Deathstroke and a Bane movie. I think it's probably going to be solo, whatever the case is. I don't know what the whole description of it is, but we'll go through it when we get to the thing because the story just came out literally like an hour ago. So we'll talk about that. Plus, Shazam star Zachary Levi is throwing his hat in the ring and he is supporting Donald Trump. So apparently Shazam is a Trump supporter. So we're going to talk about that. We got to talk about Kristofferson because we talked a little bit about him yesterday and his passing. I got a little more details on everything where basically how he knew that his time was coming. Because, of course, he's a man of a certain age. So, it's only a matter of time. And how he basically split his $50 million fortune and how he was sharing it amongst his family and loved ones and stuff. So there's no fight over his estate. So we'll talk about that. Plus, of course, we got Diddy news because it wouldn't be a day if we didn't talk about the diddler. So apparently, there's a lawyer who's going around saying that he should not testify in his own trial, which is what his lawyer apparently wants him to do. I think Diddy need to fire that damn attorney because this guy's an idiot. So there's one lawyer that's doing that. Plus, we have an inside look into his little jail nightmare, like what they're talking about, like what it's like being in that prison that he's currently in down in Brooklyn. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Albie Shore sent out a cease and desist to Amazon and the author of that fake memoir that he's running around saying is about his ex, Kim Porter. Now, child, Diddy ain't the only one out here getting the documentary treatment. Apparently, the people that's behind the Quiet on Set documentary, because there's one coming with him, they got one coming out next month on Chris Brown. So the trailer dropped earlier today. We're going to talk about it. As y'all seen in the thumbnail and the headline and the photo and all that good stuff, Chris Brown is on another one who they coming after. He ain't the only one, but that's the one we'll still stay focused on. Plus, they got to talk about Elton John and his agonizing last days that his body's falling apart and he going blind and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about my girl, Madonna, who apparently just revealed she's in the studio with Stuart Price, working on the follow-up to Madam X, and I'm excited. So we're gonna break that down. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into the groove and all that other stuff in regards to my girl, the queen of pop, the icon, the deity, the all-being, the divine being of pop music. So we're gonna talk about my girl Madonna. Plus, angry Taylor Swift fans are coming in and windmilling hard against these accusations of Travis Kelce because, Travis Kelce apparently, he's not doing all that well this season playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. And apparently people are blaming her for the fact that he's not playing well. Well, first of all, you didn't even want her ass there. Now you're mad because he's not playing. I can't with y'all. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Jussie Smollett is back in the news because he has a new movie coming out that he wrote, directed, and is starring in. And of course, he's talking about the whole thing about the hate crime hoax, and people are still mad that y'all giving him a platform. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, there's a Drag Race star who said that appearing on the show made her realize that she was transgender. Well, apparently, since RuPaul want to be out here acting like he the litmus test for what is trans. It seems like there's more girls coming out as transgender than he realizes. So yeah, that long ass intro I had to give y'all. Plus, we got a whole lot more. Anything else that pop up in the news, y'all already know. Drop it in the comments and we'll talk. So Robert is here. I know I am early. I was supposed to go on for 4:15, but I was like, child, I'm already ready. Let me just change the time and do it 5 minutes early. So I changed the time. I was like, let me do 4:10. And hey, Cheryl, it's been a while since I've seen you in here. But good to have you. Okay, so anyway, let me hit my banner. And let's get into our first topic, which is, with all the success and stuff, like a lot of people were throwing shade at DC, and rightfully so, especially during the Snyderverse era. Now, the Snyderverse era, I was not really feeling in regards to that. It was a lot of hit and miss. I did like that. I'm going to admit, I did like Man of Steel for what it was. Although there were people who had issue with what Zack Snyder did with Batman and some of the executive decisions he made. I definitely like Henry Cavill as Superman. However, the Snyderverse wasn't working. All that damn slow-mo. He got to put slow-mo in every damn thing. I don't know why, but he does. Clearly he thinks that's his signature, but he be ODing with the slow-mo. So the Snyderverse came and went like a fart in the wind. Everybody's still mad over the fact that they're making all these changes. I don't mind it because, first of all, if y'all was here for the Snyderverse, y'all should have went out to the theater and supported what Zack Snyder was doing. But a lot of y'all didn't. I don't think any of the movies that came out in that time went and made $1 billion. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking maybe the closest probably did go to $1 billion was Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I think those were the only two. Aquaman 2 was terrible. Wonder Woman 2 was terrible. After Man of Steel, we should have gotten a Man of Steel 2. Instead, y'all want to do a Batman versus Superman. I don't know why. Although I will say the longer version of Batman versus Superman, I like that more than the original Batman versus Superman. So it seems like these Snyder cuts be doing better, except that crap that be on Netflix. But that's something else. I'm still mad at y'all, Netflix, over the fact that y'all canceled his Army of the Dead franchise, whatever. I really saw the potential in that and thought that would have been a great thing to kind of go into instead of giving us that Rebel Moon mess. But whatever. So, yeah. But now what I'm noticing with this new iteration of DC, things are starting to work in our favor. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with this Green Lantern franchise that they're talking about. They got the guy from Friday Night Lights. I cannot think of his name off the top of my head. But he's supposed to be playing, and he's supposed to be in the Green Lantern. And then there's word on the street that Aaron Pierre is up in the running, who was on that Rebel Ridge, I think is the name of the movie that's on Netflix. If y'all have not seen that, check that out. They're saying he's in the running to be one of the other I think John Stewart is who he's supposed to be playing off the top. I'm trying to think of all this off the top of my head that they're saying he's in the running because they are looking for a black actor to play one of the Green Lanterns. So I did hear his name rumbling. I would like to see him in that. Also, if Mahershala Ali drops out of this long overdue Blade damn movie, I do think Aaron Pierre would be a perfect choice to play the new Blade. First of all, he's young enough, very good looking. Those eyes are everything. And definitely, if you've seen Rebel Ridge, he could pull off action. So with all that being set up, so with that, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Green Lantern. I'm also loving so far Joker Foley. I could care less. I hated the first Joker. So I could care less what happens with this movie. Y'all go see it. Let me know how it is. When it come on HBO Max, I'll watch it. However, I will say the Penguin series, I am absolutely obsessed with. The first 2 episodes I watched last night, because I didn't see the premiere. I was like, I didn't want to have to see it early that last Friday and then have to wait a whole week for Sunday to see episode 2. So I wanted a back-to-back experience. The first 2 episodes so far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm actually looking forward to this whole show as a whole. So without all that being said, because I'm leading up to this point with this success that's happening with is they're giving villains a platform and creating shows around Batman's villains. They found 2 more that they're going to give a little light to. And that is Bane, the super steroid injecting antagonist who was previously seen in the 2012 Christopher Nolan movie The Dark Knight Rises, and Deathstroke, another popular arch nemesis in the comic book company's fold. And also, if you remember, what movie was it? I think, was it Justice League or one of the, it was one of, no, it was Batman versus Superman, if I'm not mistaken. We had Joe Manganiello starred as Deathstroke in the movie, in which we were supposed to get this Ben Affleck spin-off solo Batman movie where Deathstroke was supposed to be the main villain. And everybody was talking about that they read the script and this is the best script ever written in regards to Batman. But then what happened was the movie never came to fruition. I don't know what happened in regards to that, but Ben Affleck was supposed to write it. He wrote the script. He was supposed to direct and star in the film. And Joe Manganiello was supposed to come on as Deathstroke, but the movie never came to fruition. And with all this hype that was around it, I'm kind of wish that we would have gotten to see this version and would have seen the light of day. But nevertheless, it didn't happen. So whatever. But the good thing is we're getting this Deathstroke movie. Now the question is, can they strike lightning a second and a third time? Because y'all doing well so far with Penguin. I'm loving this whole idea of, Gotham is pretty much its own character, which I think was something that Matt Reeves pulled off excellently and effortlessly in The Batman movie, which I'm actually looking forward to the sequel. And I'm hoping that they're going with the Court of Owls as the villains in that film. I'm really thinking that it's a cool idea. It's something different where we don't have to focus on the Joker and all these other villains that we get, and was it Mr. Freeze or whoever else. Let's go for something we haven't seen before and give us a new perspective, because the same 4 or 5 villains y'all like to use in these superhero movies, that kind of gets a little stale. So I'm looking forward to what they can bring in regards to that. Now, in regards to this, how would you make Bane relatively interesting as in his own, I don't know, movie, TV show? There's no details. Well, let's read further along in the Hollywood Reporter to see if it's a show or if it's going to be a movie. So it basically says, they're being lassoed together for a movie. So they're going to be in the movie together. So they said that James Gunn and Peter Safran led DC Studios is developing a script for Matthew Orton, a scribe on the upcoming Captain America Brave New World movie. Now, based off the trailer so far, Captain America Brave New World looks pretty good. Now, when I see the movie, I'll determine okay, if there's a script if the movie's good, then I'll be like, okay, I'm excited. But I'm still a little hesitant because James Gunn's DCU has to prove itself. I already know they've got a lot going up against them because people are kind of folding their arms and frowning their face and giving attitude. Oh, yeah, DC is going to suck. And it's like, so far, so good. Like, I don't know if this version of the DCU, like the Penguin, is from the Peter Safran thing. I'm assuming it is. That this is their version of whatever's happening. I feel like the last thing that we got from DC EU from the Snyderverse was that horrible ass Aquaman movie. So I'm hoping that this is the the start of something new and different. And based off of what we've been getting so far from this universe, I'm actually liking what I'm getting. So they said Bane is a relatively recent addition to Batman's Rogues Gallery, with writer Chuck Dixon and artist Graham Nolan creating him in the 1990s, the early 1990s to be specific. The character was born and raised in a prison in a fictional Caribbean isle, a locale that allowed him to not only own his brute fighting skills, but also absorbed the teachings from all manner and international criminals. He later was the subject of horrific steroidal test, an experiment that left him incredibly strong but also addicted to serums. The character made his mark in an epic storyline titled Nightfall, in which he brutally broke Batman's back, which we saw that story play out in The Dark Knight Rises, which I have mixed reactions to. There were parts of that movie that I loved, and there's parts of the movie that was like, you could have did a little bit. You could have made the story a little tighter, a little better. There were just some weak parts of it. To me, I feel like out of the Batman franchise, that was Christopher Nolan's weakest part of the trilogy. And I also like Tom Hardy as Bane, but what I also despised was the muffled talking, the dialogue. It was hard to make out what he was saying a lot of the time. Like, I felt like I needed subtitles. So I hope that they do a lot better in regards of whatever they bring to the Deathstroke character. So Deathstroke was first introduced in 1980 to be top tier villain in Teen Titans. But the super enhanced Master Assassin grew to become one of DC's most popular bad guys, squaring off against Batman and the Justice League and headlining his own comics several times. The character was created by writer Marv Wolfman and artist George Perez, or as they say in Espanol, Jorge Perez, has popped up in video games and animated fare. Now, Esai Morales played the character in the recent live-action Titan series. Yeah, I do remember that. And then Joe Manganiello, actually like Esai Morales, and he did a good job in Titans. And Joe Manganiello cameoed as the killer in Zack Snyder's DC movies. Now, at one point, he was going to be the villain in The Batman, back when Ben Affleck was directing and starring. At another point, he was attached to star in a Deathstroke movie from the Raid director Gareth Evans. Now, what happened with that? Because I don't think I knew about the whole Gareth Evans situation. And here's the thing, I love Gareth Evans, and I love the Raid movies. And I also love that show that he developed that I think is on Netflix that's playing right now. Damn, I forgot the name of the series off the top of my head. And wait, hold on, let me go look it up. Because I hate when that happens. When off the top of my head and I'm doing stuff and I can't remember. It was called Gangs of London. I don't know why I cannot remember the name of that damn show. But yeah, Gangs of London, they had, I believe, 2 seasons. And I think it was, I don't know, I guess it was canceled, or whatever the case was, because I think it was on AMC Plus, which AMC Plus is similar to MGM Plus. Like, a lot of people couldn't find that channel on a damn TV, and that's a good damn show. But I think it was doing really well when it's on Netflix, because Netflix is broader and a lot of people have that channel, so they have access to seeing a lot of the AMC Plus shows. And I guess that's what Netflix, they're using Netflix as a way to draw people over there to AMC Plus to catch all the new shows and things of that nature. So I did like Gangs of London. First of all, the action sequence on that show was crazy, and I love the whole. It was like The Sopranos with martial arts. That's basically what I kind of compare it as. So if there's a show that y'all have not seen, definitely check that show out. Also, they said that DC and Warner Brothers have found considerable success with highlighting villains on the feature side. The most prominent is example Joker, with filmmaker Todd Phillips' unique take on the clown prince of crime, propelling the movie to a $1 billion box office and Oscar goal for Joaquin Phoenix. So yeah, he did win an Oscar. Also, Hildur Gudnadottir, which I'm guessing that means he's from Iceland, because when they all had that name like that, like Bjork, they from Iceland. That's how I be knowing based on how the names be looking. But then, of course, we have Joker Folie à Deux that's coming out, which I'm hearing is getting mixed reviews, and it actually comes out in theaters this week. And yeah, so far the Penguin is doing really well on HBO Max, so that's a huge hit for them. So they're like, yeah, let's dig into the war chest and see what villainy characters can we bring in and give them their own film. Now they're saying that they're going to put Bane and Deathstroke in the movie together, but I'm like, now, if there was some Batman sort of thing where he was going at the both of them at the same time, I could see that. But I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really see how they're going to make this work. But I will say that I absolutely love these two villains. Now, in regards to who's going to play these characters, that remains to be seen. And I'm relatively interested in hearing you guys' thoughts on, do you think this is an interesting idea? Are you interested to see? I mean, based on so far so good with DCU in regards to the whole, giving these villains like these complex, flawed storylines, especially what they're doing with the Penguin and the fact they brought that kid Victor in that was like stealing his car in the first episode, and now he kind of brings him in, and it's sort of like they're like a demented Batman and Robin in a way. So that's how I kind of look at their relationship, and he's kind of like taking this kid under his wing, and he's kind of walking through this underworld with him, and how Penguin is slowly trying to take over the business from the Falcons, and it's like we got the Falcons going against the Maronis, and I like that whole vibe of what they're doing with that. So with that being said, it's interesting. I'm trusting to see what they're going to go with this, and that they'll get the ball rolling. And so I'm on the optimistic side of it, but I am a little hesitant to go full in and give my support. So I'm hoping that they work it out and they make these villains work in a way that we can have a little empathy for them, but they also can give us that twisted, crazy action type stuff. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And also, who do y'all think would be a great addition as part of the cast of who should play Bane and who should also play Deathstroke? Should they bring Joe Manganiello back in to play Deathstroke? Because we definitely, in my opinion, same thing like how we got with Channing Tatum and Gambit, how he got his opportunity after the fan service and stuff. We didn't get to see Joe Manganiello have his moment of being Deathstroke on the big screen, small screen, whatever you have it. We've seen him with a little cameo, but he didn't get his just due. Same thing with Bane. Yeah, Tom Hardy did what he did. I still have my like y'all already know. I said it early in the thing. My trepidations in regards to that and how I felt about Dark Knight Rises. But since they're not going to have Tom Hardy come back and reprise that role, who do you think would make a good Bane? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we have. He said actor Levi said he lost a lot of roles and was dropped by his. Really? I should have known. And here's the part that was gonna be interesting. I was actually gonna ask that in my covering of the damn, I can't even talk. In my covering of the Zachary Levi story, which is the next topic, by the way. It was like, so with him endorsing Trump, how will that affect his career in Hollywood? And now you telling me that, you know, they're saying that, well, yeah, he is a Christian and he's also a libertarian. So if he knew that this was coming, then why risk it? And I also asked the question, if his career ends up in the toilet, which it seems like it's about to head, then I guess he could go and star in movies alongside Kevin Sorbo and Candace Cameron Bure. So, okay, so I have someone from Twitch saying, "What's up? I am doing well. Do I stream daily? No, I do not. I try to stream as much as I possibly can. I'm gonna do a show tomorrow. Wednesday I'm gonna be busy. I think I am gonna be trying to throw in some streams a lot this week. But I stream whenever I have a moment, so I don't really have like a set time. I wish I could put in a set time of like when I can come on. Like some people, like I'll just throw some names. Perez Hilton always got 5 days a week, 7:30. Perez. I mean, who is that? Who else? Funky Doniva every day, 8 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, sometimes a Friday. Or how other people have like this specific. I just try to come on when I can. I said, do you have a logo and emote? What's emotes? Well, I said my logo, you can see it at the top where it says Kris Avalon Unfiltered. All my information is in the description down below. All my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, all of that stuff. And yes, we do need a solo Harley Quinn movie. And if we do get a solo Harley Quinn movie, do we need to bring back Margot Robbie? Well, this is when she had a baby because she's pregnant. So is it like do we need to bring Margot Robbie back? Because I don't want a solo one with Lady Gaga. I'm sorry, I don't. I like Margot Robbie. He said, can I show you some of my work? Well, I mean, whatever your work is, you can show me some of it. You can email me at KrisAvalonOfficial481@gmail.com. I tell you, all that information is, in the description on my YouTube channel. But I know you're from the Twitch, so I said the Twitch. I say it like that on purpose. And I'm sorry, that bitch Jay tried to have his friends dish it because you was telling the truth. The dancers was winning. Yeah, and I'm sick of people going and nitpicking about, oh, well, because here's the thing. For those of you who don't be following me on my Facebook or whatever, I was getting into it yesterday because I posted this picture where it was like, well, let me see if I can pull it up for y'all so y'all can see. Because, so I posted this picture of, some people, because remember yesterday we talked on the show about how Madonna has influenced a lot of people in the entertainment industry, especially a lot of the pop girlies. We talked about it yesterday. One of my friends who has been in the business for a long time even co-signed on the situation. But a lot of people want to come out here and they want to nitpick or they want to try to use the race card. Oh, you're just trying to give this white woman all this credit. It's like, yeah, Janet Jackson did do her own thing. Trust and believe. A lot of what she was doing was mimicking, if you really want to go there, her brother Michael. However, when it came down to some of the other stuff, you can't say like the way she does her shows, the way that, some of the outfits and all the other stuff doesn't also reflect or wasn't influenced by Madonna. So when you point all of this out, a lot of people want to be like, oh, well, one of my friends actually said that he worked on Den Veta, shout out to him, said that he actually, and you know what, sometimes I do be doing stuff just to be messy on social media just to get y'all riled up, and I'm glad it works. And wish that some of y'all would get more upset about, what's going on in our political climate instead of shit that I be saying about your favorite celebrity. But we understand what people's priorities are. But anyway, so one of my friends, he was like, I think the influence was Westwood on both, but as usual, M did it first. I did wardrobe for both of them in the 90s, in particular Human Nature video. Then he worked on the infamous nip slip costume. And damn, I should have asked him. I was like, so what you did during the rehearsal when Justin first did the whole boob reveal? I do wonder that. But yeah, let me pull up the picture because this is the one I wanted to show y'all. So yeah, this was the thing I showed. And yeah, during the reinvention tour, Madonna had, the everybody up there wearing the kilts and stuff. And then Janet did the same damn thing. And then somebody in my video decided to, on my page, decided to fix their mouth and say, well, Janet wasn't wearing a kilt. Bitch, you know what the hell I'm talking about. You know damn well I'm saying everybody else in there is wearing a kilt. You can clearly see with both eyes, unless you got cataracts or you on the verge of going blind, or you was born blind, or you Stevie Wonder, or you Helen Keller, that everybody in there is wearing a kilt similar to what Madonna wore. So for y'all to not sit up in there and say, oh yeah, so yeah, she did do it first. So a lot of people are going to be like, well, the influence is there. Oh, y'all, you got your dancers wearing the same thing. We all know because of who Janet was married to that she got to be buttoned up like she a damn Muslim woman. That she can't show no damn skin. It'd be 95 degrees outside. She'd be buttoned up like it's 22 degrees. And I guess with all that filling Botox on her damn face, she ain't gonna sweat. So, there was that. So, but let me close this because now I got things popping up and they're gonna have butt cheeks and all kinds of stuff popping up on my thing, and I refuse to have my stuff being closed down. But anyway, because things be popping up on my damn page, it's like y'all need to slow y'all roll over there. So yeah, so there was that. But the point of what I want to get to this is I can't stand when people who are followers on my page or friends on my page will go and tag people that aren't friends on my page, and then try to do a little thing like you're not instigating, but I'm not dumb, so I could tell you trying to instigate, and then they'll try to assert their opinion on my page, and only because I'm a public figure of sorts, I leave my page open. But what you're not going to do is get the comment on my page if you're not a follower. So it's like your comments is getting deleted. And it's not that I'm not exempt from taking criticism, because there's people in there who got difference of opinion. If you scroll down and you read it, if you're a follower, if you're a friend, if I've added you as a friend, you can leave your comments or whatever. But if I don't know you, bitch, you don't get to leave an opinion. So exit stage left, you go over there and you continue to talk about your Phyllis Hymens and your Brandies and all that stuff. You say that shit for your page. But when it comes to my page, I get to dictate what you can and cannot say on it. Now let's move on. So here's a Gaga umbrella. It's funny because I was watching Stefan, that does the Madonna, Louise, Veronica Choni. I always have to say it, the whole thing, on his YouTube channel. And he posted a video yesterday, and it was called Madonna Saved My Life or something or another. And the guy who he had on there was somehow how Madonna basically saved his life because there was some trauma and some stuff that he dealt with as a kid. How he came home one day from school, high school, I believe he said, and his mother left him a chair and a note. And basically, she was a single mother, took his sister and left him, abandoned, had to figure out how to take care of himself at that age. And was talking about through the eras of Madonna's music, how she saved his life. So, and they talked about this. The same thing we was all saying, that when she came out with that album, how they were saying how she was inspired by I'm Breathless. So she could sit up there and try to act like that the Madonna influence isn't there. And it's funny how that's why I said yesterday when Azealia Banks fixed her little nappy-headed ass mouth to sit up there and try to throw shade, you intentionally left Lady Gaga out because it's apparent that Lady Gaga has been inspired by the Queen. So you want to sit up here and do certain things to make your little point, but you're not going to be real with your point. So when I like to point things out and then people try to gaslight and try to treat me like I'm stupid, that pisses me off even more. But Onyx, hey, how you doing? Said, did I see Rolling Stone's Grammy predictions? Pop girls are predicted to sweep. I did not see that. Since you brought that up, um, I'm gonna definitely use that as a story for tomorrow's show. So that way we could talk about it, because there was something I had saw earlier in regards of the pop girlies, and they were talking about, like, with the Grammy predictions, how they feel like Beyonce's Cowboy Carter should win Album of the Year, but they feel like Taylor Swift is going to take it again. And they're probably going to do it because Taylor Swift is willing to go in and play the game and do the politics and all that other stuff. Beyonce threw the album, pretty much just threw the album. I was like, okay, yeah, the album's there. Go listen to it. I'm about to go just, do booty tooch videos and show myself in my underwear while I'm trying to promote my new denim line. So that's what she worried about, right? And selling hair products and liquor. So this is what she want to do, and talk about this ain't Texas. So this is basically what she's all focused on right now, instead of actually getting out there and promoting the record. So I cannot. You said I know Janet has to be menopausal in the okay, because if you pushing 60, I know she having hot flashes, being all that. But I guess we'll never know, because with all that damn filler in that face, ain't no sweat coming out that body. Maybe it's coming out in other areas. But I don't give a damn who I'm married to. Ain't no way in hell I'm getting up on that stage all buttoned up. So what is it? Ever since Justin Timberlake pulled out your boob, all of a sudden now you got to be all buttoned up. You can't expose no skin. I'm not saying you got to be out there with your breasts hanging out and giving camel toe. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna be up on stage performing and I'm gonna be buttoned up in some damn wool fabric doing. I be damned. Ain't no way in hell. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about this. So now it came out, child. When I found this out yesterday, I'll say, disappointed, because I am a Zachary Levi fan. And for him to say all of this, like, that definitely disappointed me. Like, I've been a Zachary Levi fan since Chuck. Chuck was like one of my favorite shows. Well, I wasn't that. Well, when did Chuck come out? Like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something or another. I grew up watching that show. It was one of my favorite shows. I like the whole premise. And then he tried to do things here and there, but here's the real gag. Now, I don't know why people, we could be all upset or whatever, and I guess, but Zachary Levi's career, he ain't no Ryan Reynolds. Like, his career ain't really pop. He ain't no, in regards to, like, we talking about superhero, the playing in that world, he's no, like I said, he's no Ryan Reynolds. He's no Jason Momoa. Yeah, he had Shazam. Shazam was okay. It's not like the top 5 superhero films that we could all sit and rant and rave and talk about, in my opinion. But yeah, yesterday it came out that, and he was trending all over the Twitter, that basically, they're saying that he got another DC in his mind, Washington, DC, because he's throwing his support behind Donald Trump. So Entertainment Weekly had this story. So shout out to them. So they said, during a Saturday Trump rally held in Michigan, Levi made a surprise appearance to moderate a conversation between Robert F. Kennedy and former Hawaii Rep. Tulsi Gabbard. But it's funny how he's throwing his support behind Robert F. Kennedy, who just recently caught up in a cheating scandal. But let's continue. Before welcoming him to the stage, Levi name dropped his DC superhero persona while explaining his decision to endorse the twice impeached former president as he campaigns against Vice President Kamala Harris. And it's funny how a little boy trapped in a man's body, how fitting, because you played that character, a little boy trapped in a man's body, right, would vote for Trump. Because that's the way people look at him. They look at Trump as basically a 78-year-old man baby who wears Depends, smells like God knows what, probably awful, because I've heard the story that Trump don't smell pleasant. And recently he just came out and said something about how we need a real life purge. Now, it's funny how he says that, because I feel like that's what kind of has been the narrative, that they feel like when this man gets in office for a second time, that this is basically what we're going to get, that he's giving police full autonomy to just purge, not white people, but others. So the gays, the LGBTs, women, black folks, So Latinos, so if y'all think y'all exempt, then you keep believing that delusion. He said, I'm not going to take too much time, but I did just want to give you a little context about why Shazam is sitting here talking to you about these various things. Child, you are not Shazam. You are a character. And first of all, Shazam flopped at the box office. The first one did okay. The second one did worse. So what are you talking about? Say, I grew up in my family that was Christian conservative. That was pretty much the lane that we were in. So what the hell did you become an actor? But you're a Christian conservative. So I guess he'll, like I said, go over there and work with Candace Cameron Bure and go over there and work with Kevin Sorbo, because that's exactly when you'll end up on that family-friendly network, whatever the hell that channel is she got, because you ain't going to Lifetime. They're a little too progressive. Not a Lifetime. The old one that she used to do, work at. They're a little too progressive. They doing like gay Christmas movies now. So I know you ain't going to want to go over there. And it's weird because I used to think, no shade, but I actually thought that, is it me or does Zachary Levi give gay face? But anyway, Hallmark, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. I said Lifetime. Well, Lifetime and Hallmark, same shit, different toilet. They all produce the same type of content over there. So they also said that my parents were Kennedy Democrats that then turned into Reagan Republicans, and they taught me to have a healthy level of distrust for the government and a healthy level of distrust for industry that runs amok. Okay, so he's been radicalized. Levi, who was loudly supported, voiced his support for RFK Jr. in the past few months, continued. For a long time, I was like, man, I really want to find a politician that represents all the things that I want and I want to see in a presidential candidate. And this year, I found Bobby Kennedy, and I thought, man, this guy has it. He's the real deal. Holyfield. I added the Holyfield part. Levi explained that while in a perfect world he would have the chance to cast his vote for RFK Jr., he is instead content to throw his support behind Trump, saying, we don't live in a perfect world, you don't say. In fact, we live in a very broken one. Gee, you think? We live in a country that has been hijacked by a lot of people who want to take this place way off the cliff, and we want to stop that, right? Well, it ain't going to stop with this one you endorsing. Is this man slow? But anyway, it's my emotions is getting caught up in it. Let me just be professional and just continue. Because I can't help it. This is what happens when you're a person of color. We have to commentate as we read. Kennedy, who infamously revealed during his campaign that a parasitic worm has eaten a portion of his brain and then died there, suspended his campaign last month, endorsing Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance. Well, I'm thinking that damn worm must have went from his brain into Zachary's. But let's continue. We're here to make sure that we are going to take back this country. We're going to make it great again. We're going to make it healthy again. This is what Levi said during the rally. He says, I do believe of the two choices that we have, and we only have two, Donald Trump. President Trump is the main, the main. I was like, Maine. Shout out to, I guess, Boosie, because that's how he say Maine. Maine. What up, Maine? Is the man that can get us there. And he's going to get us there because he's going to have the backing and the support and the wisdom and the knowledge and the fight that exists in Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Well, I'm starting to think that Zachary's got a short-term memory because y'all acting like Trump ain't been president before. This isn't his first time at the rodeo. This isn't the first time he was in the White House. And a lot of people keep saying, well, the reason why they vote for him is because of those stimulus checks. Here's the thing. The stimulus checks is our money. That's money we're supposed to get. And Trump didn't want to put the money out unless he can get his signature on the checks. But I'm like, this ain't your money. So why are you trying to write on checks? You want to give stimulus checks to people for money that ain't even yours. It's in the government. They're the ones who had to make the decision, not you. So you want to make it seem like you was just giving out money like you was throwing paper towels at the Puerto Ricans? Like, that's not how that works. And for him, another one who's out here spewing misinformation and disinformation, this is kind of sad. And I think that maybe what it is that Zachary Levi does represent a group of people. Like, I remember, he's someone who's notoriously popular at Comic-Con. Throughout the years, whenever it came down to Comic-Con, even before he was Shazam, like, I remember that Zachary Levi would show up at Comic-Con, and a lot of the YouTube pundits were interviewing him, and he had like little panels and this, that, and the other where he was talking comic books and hosting events and that sort of thing. So Zachary Levi is very much prominent in that world. And I think like with his stature, he's reaching for a certain demographic. A lot of those young boys or men who like the comic books and who go to that kind of thing. I guess also the ones that like to get up on social media and get mad whenever y'all give a female a lead in a damn comic book movie. So I guess that's probably who he's pandering. That's the base that's going to go and I guess endorse Trump. But they were already endorsing Trump. So based off of the way they be acting, a lot of y'all man babies. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, who is the base that who is he trying to reach? Because you're not pulling women, you're not pulling the gays, you're not pulling people of color. You have certain people that already, are gonna go in and endorse Trump. He already got that locked down. So if he's trying to reach across the aisle and bring more people in, the behavior and all the things that Trump is saying as of late, where he's talking about Haitians eating dogs and cats and all this other stuff, he's not gaining any more demographics. Kamala Harris is the one who's pulling all those. And here's the thing: you can choose a vote for whoever the hell you want. That's fine, because as human beings, we should be allowed to do that. But, sir, just know that your actions have consequences. And like I said before, when I was thinking about this, and funny how friend of the show Robert basically mentioned this before I even got to the story, and I'm gonna insert it in here because when I edit the show and all that other stuff and put this clip up, y'all didn't hear what was said prior. So apparently my thought was, I'm worrying about, okay, so what's gonna happen to Zachary's career? Because you already know, like, if you come out and you say something that you're for, a certain person, specifically a Trump who has been very anti-Hollywood, even though he, tried to assert himself in Hollywood for those opportunities like The Apprentice and things of that nature and popping up in movies and things. So Trump does love the spotlight. He loves the attention. He likes Hollywood. But because Hollywood is not here for his racist rhetoric, his misogynistic rhetoric, his homophobic and transphobic rhetoric, because they're not all for that, where Hollywood wants to be this inclusion and this place where we welcome everybody. Although I will say this, Hollywood, I love y'all and I like the movies and I'm all about the entertainment. But some of y'all, even though y'all try to perpetuate this image, damn near 100 years of Hollywood being what it is, we still are moving at a snail's pace in regards of evolving and allowing different demographics, genders, sexual orientations, whatever, to have a platform to create movies and films and shows and things of that nature. So we're still moving at a snail pace with that. Although y'all all try to pull up this whole kumbaya inclusion, we love everybody type of energy. So I wanted to look up if there was a follow-up to what he said, because he said that and he's 44. So I'm like, you at your age, your big age. Oh yeah, so they basically to my so I wondered if him endorsing him, would this cause career suicide? Because if you're going to come out and endorse somebody like a Trump, and we know what he stands for, and this radicalization and what he's trying to do and all the things that he's standing for, is he killing his career? And apparently, that is something that he fears is going to happen. And I have a strange feeling that the answer is probably yes. Because I was trying to see if there was any if this already has started. So that's why I had to pull up another article to see if there was something in there that corroborates that. Because he says, but I will say though, within my industry, as you could probably imagine, Hollywood is a very, very liberal town, and this very well could constitute career suicide. So that is a fear of his. So only time will tell, I guess, if it does turn out that he will destroy his career. But also, I should say this, that this isn't the first time he's come under fire with some stuff. And I guess maybe I wasn't paying attention to it before, because they said that he made headlines for sharing controversial opinions, including the criticism of the SAG-AFTRA strike, which he later walked back. Prior to that, 2 months before the release of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which was terrible, Levi shocked fans with his response to a tweet asking if COVID-19 vaccine maker Pfizer posed a real danger to the world. And also, I should point out, because he did respond by saying hardcore agree. So he thinks that Pfizer taking any kind of like the medications, whatever, they're supposed to prevent you from getting COVID, even though a lot of us did end up getting COVID. I wound up getting it, I believe, twice. But because I took the vaccine, I didn't end up like a lot of people that I know who ended up who already had well, I don't have like prior illnesses, but I know people who had prior illnesses. It could be cancer, it could be HIV, whatever the case is, that affects you with the COVID. And I know people that passed away, and or if you're an older person and that sort of thing. So I know people who actually passed away from COVID complications. So he's a COVID denier, which is also what RFK Jr. is. So when you say stuff like that, you sound like you just a conservative nut. But then they also said that the tweet sparked such controversy that it eventually made its way to DC Films co-chairs James Gunn and Peter Safran, who were asked to weigh in on the tweet and Levi's future in the DCEU during a January 2023 press event on the Warner Brothers lot. Well, they said, just real simply, actors and filmmakers that I work with are going to say things that I agree with and things that I don't agree with. And that's going to happen. I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something that I don't know, that I don't agree with. And I agree with James Gunn on that. It's like, now you're gonna say something that I don't agree with, and that means what? I gotta fire you? That's why I'm still mad at the fact that what they did with Melissa Barrera, because she went and said what she said, and she's standing for Palestine. Then Radio Silence, I mean not Radio Silence, that Spyglass decides to come in. Oh, we're gonna fire her because we don't like what she said. We're Zionists. So those Palestinian lives don't matter. Jews matter more so than they do. So I'm not going to. We don't want her a part of the franchise, so let's fire her. The same thing with Zachary Levi. Now, if he could sit out here and say what he want to say, and then they're like, you know what, we already got the thing written, there's things he's going to star in it, you got either support it or you don't. But I'm not going to cancel someone because they have a difference of opinion, whether I agree with it or not. We can't go around just doing that. Now, like I said, I'm disappointed in what he said, and I'm disappointed in the fact that he's standing behind someone that basically wants me dead. That basically wants to put forth Project 2025, which is going to take away the rights of anybody who isn't white and male and have a lot of money. So these rich folks can go around, these oligarchs can go around and do whatever the hell they want, but fuck us. And that's basically what you're saying by getting behind him. So I don't know what the hell happened to Zachary Levi. Maybe he was always this way, but he's feeling, he got big balls and he wants to come out and he wants to show off those cojones and let us know how he feels. So I don't understand, at the end of the day, for someone who has made a career playing smart people on camera, clearly is less than smart with his recent endorsement. It's like, I don't understand, how someone like Zachary can throw his weight behind someone who wants to eradicate everyone who isn't white and male. But I guess, since his policies, I guess, for Project 2025 won't affect him. And like I said earlier, if this does affect his career, he can always star in a movie alongside Scott Baio, Candace Cameron Bure, and Kevin Sorbo. There's definitely an audience out there where he can do those faith-based movies, whatever the case is, because if he thinks that he's going to work in liberal Hollywood and endorse someone who is trying to destroy the very industry that he is making millions of dollars off of, and that's fine. But it's funny how also I want to point out, because Robert did say, and I don't know, I need to look in and see if this is actually factual, but they said that he lost you said, what was it, his agent and his manager and all that other stuff. He said he lost some friends, he lost his agent because of who he's standing behind. And I do feel like that. It's like, you know what, we can agree to disagree on certain things, but if you if you align yourself with someone like a Trump, and if you got black friends and you got gay friends and you got female friends who basically wants to tell women that they can never have an abortion, even with rape and incest. If you want to tell black people that you're endorsing Trump, but Trump doesn't even care about black people. Y'all thought George W. Bush didn't care about black folks? Trump didn't care, but before y'all even know about a George W. Bush and his policies in politics, Trump was out here making sure that black people couldn't rent in his buildings. And then you want to go against the gays, the LGBTs, who there's already things in place based off his thing, because he's running around here proud that he got rid of abortion. That's what he's talking about. I'm so glad and I'm proud that I was able to do that. And then when you want to talk about the queer community, where there's certain places where young children who are having transgender thoughts and identify as trans because more of the information is out here and they're doing the research and the family's doing the research and they want to do the hormone blockers and they want to go and get the therapy and stuff. So that way they want to make sure, the parents want to make sure that this is something that these kids want to do because yes, they go through different stages before you get caught up in the removal of the genitalia, which people tend to get too caught up in. Y'all worry so much about somebody's genitalia, but don't even understand the complexities of what it's like to be a trans child or a trans person. So the trans care and things that's going on and the crackdowns on drag queens performing in certain places, this is things that Trump and his ilk are trying to put in place. So if Zachary Levi is behind that, then I wouldn't be. Look, if I was a friend of his, we'd have to. I'm like, I'm sorry, but we can't be friends no more because you're literally putting your hat in the ring behind and endorsing someone who wishes me harm as a human being, as a person of color, as a woman, as someone a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And this is the exact industry that you work in, where you're dealing with all these different diverse groups of people. So now if I'm working across you on set, I'm wondering what's going on. So you don't even like me as a human being. So why should I give a damn about you as a person? So, sir, remember, y'all can endorse who the hell y'all want to endorse, but you have to realize there's repercussions to your actions. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this whole Zachary Levi, are y'all disappointed in the fact that Shazam is out here supporting this moron? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so Robert says he prefers doing family movies. Remember, he slammed John Wick 4 because it's for adults. He said that extreme content for adults. First of all, he should shut the fuck up. Because first of all, I love John Wick. And don't be mad because Keanu Reeves has the better career that you wish you had. So what you're not going to do is come for my Virgo twin and his movie. Shout out to Keanu. Keanu is not problematic to anybody. He don't bother nobody. So what you're not going to do is throw shade at his movie. So yeah, if that's what you want to do, if you want to do those family-oriented movies, you can go over to that Candace Cameron Bure network. You can make a little chump change because I'm sure they ain't got no real money over there they paying people. And you pay off whatever agent you can get. Maybe you can get Boosie manager to manage you. By the way, that's a black gay man, which I always find that to be an oxymoron. You can't stand the gays. You got a problem with the gays, but you got a homosexual for a damn manager. Make that make sense. So they said, because if kids can't see the film, it should be illegal. First of all, I was watching R-rated movies since I was a kid, and that turned out fine. I wasn't supposed to. I used to sneak and watch them. And then on top of that, it was like when I would go to my friend's house, I could watch those movies. When my aunt would come over, she let us watch films and stuff. My parents were very concerned, like real strict when it came to R-rated movies and stuff. Yeah, I can't watch. But I was like, I was glad that I was able to, with certain people, that they let me watch stuff. And I realized I was way more intelligent to do that. I still have this thing to this day that I was mad because I used to terrorize my babysitter, and she got back at me. I watched Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, right? And then they got me at one point because I was being a terror, because I used to terrorize my babysitters growing up. And then at one point, because there was no mirrors, there was there was a mirror in the bathroom. There was no windows in the bathroom in the old apartment building we used to live in. They tied me up and put me in the damn. My siblings helped her too. Tied me up and put me in the tub and turned out the light. So I was tortured when I was a kid, but I guess that was my payback because like I said, I used to torment my babysitter. So who are you telling? I cannot wait for October's tomorrow, but I can't wait for November to get here because I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. These celebrities are wearing me out with their stupidity. But the good thing is at least they showing us who they are. Janet Jackson showing us who she is. Zachary Levi and so many others are showing us who they are with the stupidity that's coming out their damn mouth. And these people that continue to endorse Trump. So you go ahead and endorse them. Like I said, you can endorse whoever you want to endorse. And I have a right to no longer support what you want to support. Just like these people out here mad at Taylor Swift for supporting Kamala Harris and Billie Eilish and all these others that's out here supporting her. And Chaperone flip-flopping and blaming it on her damn mental health. So If this is what y'all want to do, if y'all want to stick, the minute y'all put y'all stuff out there, you have to be ready, good or bad, for the repercussions. Everything can't be, copacetic. But I'm looking forward to hearing when that report comes out of Zachary Levi losing, his manager and he gets dropped from his agency and all that other stuff. And of course, the one Hollywood, all that crap. So, which basically y'all saying y'all support a man who's a racist, who's a flat out bigot. And then you had the mail order whore over on, Melania on Fox News, because who else is going to have her? Talk about the things that she has to come. Or he gets to control the music. That he does the DJ. He likes the DJ, the music. I'm like, what music y'all listening to? And to me, it just seemed like y'all marriage is so damn disingenuous. When we seen Kamala Harris up there with her husband, and we seen not JD Vance, because JD Vance's wife just sit up there being the dot-head fool as she is. Like, I don't know how that man sit up here and talk about your heritage, you being Indian and stuff, and you just sit up there loving every man. Like, you don't say nothing. That man is flat out disrespecting you as a woman. And you just okay with it. It's the Sambo colonization type of stuff for me. I just don't understand how y'all sit up there. Y'all run behind these white men, y'all marry these white men, and they sit up here saying this racist stuff, loud and in color, and y'all just sit there and, well, she's gonna, just sit there and raise the kids, because I guess, you want to be a stay-at-home wife, you want to be pretty much the prostitute, that's what you want to present yourself as, then you go ahead and do it. But I want to hear, don't come out as the one who cried wolf when you finally want that divorce and you want people to feel sympathy and empathy. Nope. Find somebody else who gives a damn, because I don't. So when you got the mail order whore Melania up in here with that horrible ass accent who talk about, y'all want to sit up here and talk about the racist stuff, and y'all want to sit up here and talk about immigrants? Now this bitch needs some damn subtitles when she talk, because I still don't understand her. But y'all want to sit up here and throw shade at all these other immigrants. So my thing is, I don't go in and be like, when they go low, we go high. I'm just as petty. So the other side want to come in and try to throw shade, I'm throwing my shade too. Listen, me and my friend discussed it and said the MAGA supporters aren't bright. They aren't. And I'm tired of people. Very fine people, I'm sure they are. But if you're running behind Trump at this point, you are an idiot. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You are dumb. You're less than smart, you're uneducated, and you're a bigot. You refuse to look at the reality of this man is a moron. But because you fear that the minorities are becoming the majority and white people are feeling out of place because they don't want to come to the terms. And I'm saying this, when it comes to race and stuff in this world, we need to acknowledge the fact that racism existed. There's still things in place that need to change. We're not necessarily blaming white people and making y'all feel your white guilt. If you want to, if you a frog, then leap. That's what I say, a hit dog or holler. But what we need to do is confront the situation, move on from the situation, and grow from the situation. We acknowledge, fuck Jaguar. That bitch is crazy any damn way. She's just as crazy as the man she endorsing. Because I see you said Jaguar Wright says she supports Trump, which somebody need to, because she's just as crazy as he is. And they said, and you said, wait, me and my friend discussed it and said the MAGA supporters aren't bright. He's not coming back home. Harris is getting it. Men only support the economy, but abortion, gay rights, and feminist issues are exactly carrying Harris, especially with us. It's pro-Palestine, extremely important, yes. And I'm sure once she's president, she's going to do what's right. Well, if she doesn't, then when she gets in office, we as the people have the right to protest. When Trump gets in office, he's going to make sure we can't protest against anything. He's trying to turn this into a fascist regime. The good thing about us being Americans, we have the right to freedom of speech. We have the right to protest. So if she gonna get up there and be just as bad, if not worse, on, with the Palestinian situation and Israel and how they're handling the Palestinian situation, when it gets down to that point, then we as the people can get in the streets, we can march, we can, storm the Capitol positively, not like how they did on January 6th, and we let them know our grievances, and we get to, use our right of protest. And if she don't do what needs to be done in regards to that, she could be a one-term president like Joe Biden. And we'll get somebody in there who needs to do the job. But at this point, we don't need no more Trump mess. We need to make sure he don't get up in there, make sure his ass go to jail where he belongs, because all this stuff that he's been doing over the years, he needs to go to prison. He needs to pay for his stuff. And we need to see the situation of, yeah, just because you are who you are, that nobody is above the law. And Trump needs to pay for the things that he's done, not just during the whole January 6th and all the recent stuff that's come out over the years, but for the things he's done over the decades. We need all that to come down on him and go to prison, because that's the only reason why he's running. He does not care about this country. So all this fluff that Zachary's dumb behind is out here spewing. The only reason why Trump is running is because he doesn't want to go to jail. That's the only reason. He does not care about any of us. Even the white people that be up in there holding stupid signs up behind him and, wanting him to be the president. He don't care about y'all. If he didn't care about you heifers the first 4 years he was in prison, and this is what irritates me about the Democrats too. I did not want to make this whole thing political, but since we're here, and since we brought up the Zachary Levi thing, it's warranted. It just seems to me that people got short-term memories, especially when it comes to this thing with Trump in office for the past 4 years. He ran the country for 4 years. Y'all saw what he did. You saw how he handled the COVID-19 situation and many other things, and the economy. And now he's trying to introduce all these tariffs and stuff, which is going to make people go bankrupt and all kinds of other stuff. However, y'all still want him to run. But I need to know a reason why. What is it about him that y'all thinking? And if it's the stimulus thing, I already explained that. The evidence is there, but y'all still want to overlook it and justify the buffoonery. They said, crazy. I just saw a Republican white woman say she's okay with losing her right to vote. Well, okay, she's an idiot. I just don't understand these people. And yeah, it is a cult. It's very much like, it's like y'all all drank the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. And it just baffles me, like, mental health is real. Like, I just don't understand these people. Like, it's like y'all are just batshit crazy. Thoughts on the Gen X kids of Kurt Cobain's daughter and Tony Hawk's son having the ultimate Gen X royalty? Are they Gen X? Because I feel like Frances, when was Frances being born? She was born in the 90s, right? Or maybe she is. I don't know. I thought she'd be a millennial. But when I heard that the other day, I said, let me find out Courtney is a grandmother. It'd be nice to see, like, if Kurt Cobain was live today, how would that have worked out? But, Frances being, and the crazy thing about Frances, she never got the opportunity to meet her dad. Like, he was a baby when he took his own life. So I don't think she has, like, many memories of, like, actually being in the pocket and thing. But I think it's a cool thing that Tony Hawk's son and Kurt Cobain's daughter done hunched and made a royalty baby. Because I like Tony Hawk. And I like, I'm a fan of Nirvana, and I was also a fan of Hole. I love Courtney Love. Say what you want about her and stuff, but I was a fan of her music and the band. I kind of want her to come out and, like, when we hear all these tours of, like, Nine Inch Nails and Foo Fighters and Linkin Park and those, I need Hole to get back together. And Jane's Addiction, when we was talking about them, I need Hole to get back and do an album. Not necessarily an album, but get out and tour. And I need Melissa Aufdemar up there with her too. You said if Jaguar Wright is a Trump supporter, she needs to quit. Well, among other things. And I think Frances was born in 92 because in that iconic picture of Kurt Cobain with RuPaul holding her. And yeah, Kurt was a huge RuPaul fan. He loved RuPaul. And the Supermodel song. So yeah, she was born in early 92. So that would make her millennial. So I'm thinking, like, what? She's 32? 31, 32? I don't know when her birthday is, but if she was born in 92, then yeah, she would be turning like 32 this year. Because my ex-roommate Devin, he was born in 93. But anyway, let's move on. And let's lighten-ish up the load. Because we was talking politics. And let's talk about Kristofferson, who I actually grew up listening to his music, because I remember I told y'all this story. When I was a kid and I was growing up, my mother was big on, we always played music around the house to get up early and, get ready for school and stuff. But the problem with me was, if you put it on the current music, like if y'all was playing freestyle or y'all was playing hip hop or whatever the case was, I was not getting ready. I was more or less into the music. So she thought, let's put it on Light FM, 106.7 WLTW in New York, to be exact. And it would play like Dolly Parton, the Beatles. It would also play Kristofferson's music, and that's what I mostly knew him from. I didn't know that he was really much of an actor or whatever until years later when I seen The Star Is Born with him and Barbara Streisand, and also because he played Blade's, mentor Whistler in the Blade movies. We don't try to count Blade Trinity, but we do count the first one and the second one, and that's what he's mostly known for my generation in regards to the movies. So basically, the news came out yesterday. Of course, when we was doing the show, I think Raphael, friend to the show, that's not the name he goes by, but Raphael told me that he mentioned that Kris Kristofferson passed away. So I was like, well, damn, that was the third. But somebody told me there was four people that we lost over the weekend, because we don't really talk about people dying on this show. We don't really talk about a lot of that, because we also lost Dame Maggie Smith, and a lot of people was bringing up, oh, she's from Downton Abbey and Harry Potter, and in my opinion, screw J.K. Rowling, long jawed ass, but because I don't like her. But I knew Maggie Smith from Sister Act as Mother Superior, so I hate the fact that a lot of people like to leave out Sister Act because they want to sound all grandiose. She was in Downton Abbey, and she was in all these other highfalutin programs and movies and TV shows. I was like, whatever. I know her from Sister Act. Whatever. But anyway, let's get back to Kris Kristofferson. So yeah, he was 88 years old when he passed on September 28th. But the news came out yesterday on the 29th. Came out late. So they said Kris Kristofferson, so there's a little inside news on him and how he worked out, his affairs as he was coming close to, his demise. So according to Radar Online, they're basically saying that he spent his final years planning how his family would share his $50 million fortune to avoid any fighting over his estate. The legendary singer passed away on Saturday, surrounded by his loved ones at his home in Hawaii at the age of 88. But in lead up to his death, the Star Is Born actor prioritized the financial well-being of his family by ensuring his fortune would be fairly distributed. A source said the public have this image of Kris as a gruff, grizzled music veteran who took no nonsense. There was that side of him, yes, but also there was a heart of gold in there. And from all the things I've heard about Kris Kristofferson over the years, I truly believe that. Like, he was a staunch Democrat. Like, he had a love for the Obamas. He had a love for the Clintons and that sort of thing. So Kris Kristofferson was one of the good ones. Like, especially over the years that I've heard stuff about him, I've always heard nothing but great things. So they basically said that he knew he was dying and had spent the last year getting his estate in order and putting his $17.2 million ranch on the market so all his loved ones could be looked after when he was gone, with no room for fighting. He wished his wishes will have been crystal clear on how it is to be divided up. Last year, Kristofferson put his 550-acre Californian ranch up for sale for $17.2 million. Now, the father of 8, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2013, retired from music in 2021 to spend the remaining years with his wife and family. A friend told the National Enquirer Kris didn't feel he was up to touring anymore. Now he just wants to make things easier for his family by turning his earnings, I say his earnings because that's what he earned. They said holdings, but earnings is what it is. So all the things that he had held, he wanted to turn it into cash that will go to them when he's gone. Now, Kristofferson lived with his third wife, Lisa Myers, in Maui, where the property narrowly escaped those brutal wildfires. You know, the ones that Oprah tried to pay some people, or did pay some people, to prevent burning, from getting burned down in that wildfire. But it also said that he enjoyed the quiet life towards the end of his days, revealing he was most at peace driving his tractor. The singer said, I spend most of my time on my tractor mowing the grass. Well, that's got to be a lot of fun. That, you know what? I'd rather just mow my own lawn. I'm going to get on the tractor and I'm going to just ride around the acres and do it myself. That would be, in a way, it's weird to even think about that, but that does seem quite soothing. Just driving around, the smell of gas, just cutting your grass. Now, in regards of picking it up, I'm like, I ain't doing all of that. That's a lot of work. Because I remember when I was a kid, and and having to rake leaves and all that stuff when you lived in a house and all that other stuff. I am not big on that kind of manual labor, so I couldn't imagine doing that. But I'll get on the tractor and mow it. As far as cleaning it up, somebody else gonna have to do that. He said the country music star starred alongside Barbra Streisand in the 1976 movie A Star is Born, later remade again by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, as well as playing the character Whistler in the Wesley Snipes action films Blade, 1998, Blade 2, which came out in 2002, and the horrible Blade Trinity, which came out in 2004. Now, country icon Willie Nelson described the musician as the greatest songwriter on the planet. And I also saw that um, Dolly Parton paid tribute to him because they did a song together. I believe they worked, yeah, they worked together on some music in the past, and they play in the same circles, especially because they all did country music. Him, Willie Nelson, and Dolly. Now, speaking in 2009 at BMI award ceremony for Kristofferson, he said, "There's no better songwriter alive than Kristofferson. Everything he writes is a standard, and we're all just going to have to live with that." Now, Kristofferson was married 3 times, first to Fran Beard in 1960 before he went on to wed singer Rita Coolidge in 1973. They divorced in 1980, and years later he married Myers, and the couple went on to have 5 kids, including 3 other children from his first 2 marriages. Confirming his passing to people, a family statement said, "It is with heavy heart that we share the news. Our husband slash father slash grandfather, Kris Kristofferson, passed away peacefully on Saturday, September 28th." So, yeah, there's that. And I was able to say, you know what, this is actually pretty smart. And I think more people need to get into that. Like, if you come from money, and if you're somebody who was well, not come from money, he had to build his money or whatever. But if you are the children of a celebrity, and it's like, I don't want all my kids fighting, especially from the previous marriages. I want to make sure that there's some peace. And when I leave peacefully from this world, I want to make sure that my siblings, my kids and everything is at peace, whatever's going on. I don't want to be rolling over in my grave with all this craziness is going on. Because like with the situation we heard with Prince when they was fighting over his estate and all these other things we've heard over the years, people trying to figure out how people's affairs need to be handled. And I do think, don't wait until you old. The minute you start making any kind of money in any kind of business that requires a lot of cointadas that you're making, whether you don't have no children or a dozen kids, you need to figure out what it is that you want to be done with your estate when you leave this earth, so that way you don't have any greedy vultures coming in messing up the thing. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I felt that cough coming. Okay, so you said it was Frances just turned 32. She was born in August of 92. So is she a Leo or a Virgo? Is she an August Leo or an August Virgo? That's a good question. I did look that up. So it said they're millennials, but I went by the parents being, yeah, the parents are, oh yeah, they are Gen X. I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, Kurt and Courtney are Gen X. So they said, so to me, the baby is the royalty for Gen X. Yeah, my aunt loved country music. My uncle was from Missouri. She liked Dolly. She also loved Crystal. Oh yeah, I remember Crystal Gayle with all that hair. That was another one I used to listen to growing up as a kid. I'm well versed in the music situation. So it said, Madonna has been reading a book, How I Fell in Love with Classical Music, and decided to rewrite it during the Stuart Price session. She's definitely inspired. So maybe the long break was actually needed. Well, maybe she's trying to incorporate some classical music stuff into her current music. But we'll get to the Madonna stuff and that album. My aunt, I like Kris Kristofferson. She said 15 years ago, Kylie launched in Oakland for her Brief for You for Me US 2009, which a lot of people said that Kylie tore a hybrid of showgirl and yes, it was. There was elements of showgirl, there was elements of X, and there was also Aphrodite mixed up in there too, because there was, with her on top of, when she does Closer and she gets on top of the guy with the, what is it, the Cupid thingy, whatever the case is, when he's flying across the thing. They couldn't add the water element because those certain places in New York, in New York, the smaller venues was not going to add that. Now, if they did that at Madison Square Garden, we can add the water element, because when I worked Jelly Roll show, he has a water element where he gets rained on. There's like a rain sequence, he gets wet. It's like the end of the show. So we have a water section in the thing. So if they ever wanted to bring that to like a greatest hits, and Kylie ever did Madison Square Garden, we definitely have a water element. We do fire, we do pyrotechnics, we do everything up in the garden. So if she ever decided to sell out the garden, and I'm sure being in New York, she would be able to do that. I don't know about other places in America, but I do know that she could definitely sell the garden. There's enough homosexuals in New York that would come to what Kylie. I believe she would do Madonna numbers. Like, I don't think she'd be able to do like 5 shows at the Garden and like 3 or 4 shows at, the Barclays. But I definitely feel like she could do like a night or two and sell out the Garden. She is that popular in New York, and all the homosexuals that live here, like I said, they definitely would support it. And they said Brandon said it's extremely tough to top that one since she converted an arena show into a small theater Kylie show, and like she said, the audience sounded like a football crowd because patients paid off to see a U.S. So, and here's the thing, and this is why I said it is definitely possible that you can turn an arena type show and zhuzh it into a theater setting. We've seen Kylie do it when she came here, because I guess, it was her thanking her American fans, which we loved, and we saw that paid off. But it is definitely possible that you can turn, and I'm not saying you need to have this extravagant thing, but if you do like a small theater type of setting, like like a Roseland or Hammerstein, that type of vibe, and I wouldn't say Webster Hall or Brooklyn Steel. Brooklyn Steel is mid, like with the size, like it's perfect size, whatever. If you have like Goldfrapp or somebody, or like, which I saw them there, and Slater. I saw them at the Brooklyn Steel, her at the Brooklyn Steel, and Goldfrapp as a them, since it's plural, multiple people, man and a woman, there at that thing. So yeah, there's that. But if you're gonna do like a Hammerstein, that sort of thing, which is like a step up from like a smaller venue, it's like it's enough of it's a decent size that you can do a arena type situation in a smaller theater and have and do like the props or whatever. But we don't go there for all the props and stuff. We go there to see Kylie perform the songs, give us fabulous costumes, great choreography, and LED screens and that sort of thing. We don't need like revolving stages and things moving around. We don't need all that technical stuff. We live for Madonna when she does that, but Kylie, we just want a straightforward show, which is giving choreography. At least she changing her songs and her dance moves, and she'll give you the signature stuff. But at least she pushes and do different things, unlike somebody else we know, Miss Jackson. Yeah, she getting them strays because y'all was pissing me all over there on Facebook with some of the stuff that I was saying earlier. But whatever. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I'm going to use this show to clap back. I don't do long. I'm not sitting there getting arthritis in the fingers to give y'all a bunch of, like a long dissertation or a whole, paragraph of things, but I gotta break things down to y'all, and y'all want to combat it with some BS. Cause go argue with your mammy, as I like to say. That's my go-to word now. Go argue with your mammy, cause I don't care. But anyway, let's move on, and I guess let's bring up Diddy, cause it's not a dull moment if we ain't talking about the diddler. So Diddy is itching, as we know, to take the stand and testify in his own defense as he faces serious charges of racketeering, trafficking, things of that nature. And we already know, based off of certain situations, that the allegations are piling up. So many people are coming out of the woodwork and filing grievance, charges and things against him. So far, we have over 50 people since yesterday who have come forth with lawsuits against the diddler. He is currently still behind bars, and we'll get to something of that later on in the show when we basically talk about the conditions of the place that he's currently in. So yeah, they're basically saying that Radar Online previously reported the disgraced rapper, who's 54, was arrested in New York earlier this month for racketeering, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So while he sits in Brooklyn Metro Detention Center after being denied bail, one of his attorneys, Mark Agnifilio, who, in my opinion, is a damn joke and a clown, and I feel like you need to get rid of him because he's the one. They said one of his attorneys, so clearly he has multiple attorneys, but he's the only one who's been talking to the press. TMZ, he's been talking to a lot of people, and it seems like he's been talking to Page Six. He's been talking to a lot of the media. So he made it clear that the mogul is very eager to tell his story during the trial. But there's another legal analyst who is saying that I don't think it's a great idea. And I don't think we needed a legal analyst to say this because I said it. The minute I heard this story came out, I was like, this is the dumbest move that is that you could come up with, because I'm like, there's so much stuff that they have on him already. You really think him getting on the stand is going to convince people that he's not a monster? Now that this is the story I'm waiting for Ryan Murphy to tackle, since we talk about monsters. Ryan Murphy, when you going to do the monsters series with the Diddler? Is that after you do Ed Gein? So that is that going to be the idea for season 4? Because by the time season 4 come around, and gets developed, I think we'll already have Diddy on trial. He'll be sentenced and all that other stuff. We already know he's guilty based on all this evidence that the FBI claims that they have. So Misha Moulton of the Las Vegas-based firm Misha Moulton Law told Page Six, there is a reason that attorneys typically advise their clients not to take the stand in their own trial. Testifying in one's own trial opens up the defendant to cross-examination from the prosecution. Well, I'm not an attorney, and I'm sure that, but I could play one on TV, like Kim Kardashian. But even though she took the baby bar, I want my baby bar, baby bar, baby bar. But even after that, I've watched enough Law and Order and enough episodes of Boston Legal and The Practice, and even I read enough John Grisham novels to know that this was a dumb idea. And that, yeah, you shouldn't deny because you shouldn't testify because you do open yourself up for cross-examination. The other lawyer can go and bring up all your stuff. How them damn Menendez brothers wind up behind bars? Even though we knew they was guilty. But but I ain't here to break down all that. I did that in the previous show. So the attorney emphasized how mentally grueling the standing trial is and how the jurors will be relentless in trying to find inconsistencies in his statement and get him to admit to things that could be damaging. If the diddler becomes flustered or frustrated, taking the stand will do more harm to him than good. This is what she added of the tricky move, saying this level of scrutiny is very emotionally taxing, and if he struggles to maintain composure under pressure, it could negatively influence the jury's perception of him, which we all know is going to happen. Yeah, let's look at the man boobs in that gut. So they said, despite not thinking Combs could testify or should testify, Moulton admitted it would no doubt shift the focus from the prosecution's narrative to his own version of events. Because remember, at one point, he also wanted to paint and his jury, jurors, no, not the jurors, the attorneys, his attorneys. I got it right finally. Were trying to make it seem like Cassie was the one that was beating on him and she was doing. I said, child, now we seen the damn video of him kicking her and dragging her and all this other stuff, running after her because she was trying to hatch her escape plan while he was asleep in the shower. We don't know what he was doing. There was no cameras in the room, but we could only go by what we saw on the cameras from the footage that we saw made it into the media. And basically, for what we saw, he was over there trying to act like he owned her. And there was a woman that just came out. I don't know if it was the same woman from that lawsuit, but there was a girl that was coming out about how she was underage and 16 years old, and they were trying, and she was a singer or whatever, trying to make it. And she ended up at one of Diddy parties, and the security tried to prevent her from leaving. She was trying to find her friend or whatever the case was. The Diddy came running out from the back, I guess in a robe or whatever the case was, and was getting mad because the girl was trying to leave, and he was talking about how you don't check IDs. There's a whole thing on it that's out that came out yesterday. Let me get off that picture because I can't stand looking at that gut anymore. Now, here's the thing. I do have a thing for men with a little belly, but I ain't looking at her. Diddy just look nasty to me. And I'm not saying I like all men with guts, but there's just some that, I like a little bearish man every now and again, especially when winter coming. You need a little color buddy. You need somebody to keep you warm in the bed after y'all hunching. So they also said that it also allows Diddy the opportunity to challenge evidence and humanize himself while reminding jurors of the positive contributions to society by highlighting his work as an advocate and philanthropist. Well, isn't there a lot of people that kind of do that? That when you are a philanthropist or advocate, that not all of them, but some, where a lot of y'all like to hide behind your philanthropy and the good deeds that you do, but then behind the scenes, and I've seen enough movies where they be doing that. But behind the scenes, you be doing some real criminal, notorious stuff. There's been criminals that do that. There's been gangsters that do that. It's like, oh yeah, I contribute to the community. I throw a little money and I give a little something to the community, but I'm also doing criminal activities behind the scenes. That doesn't negate the fact that he hasn't done a lot of damage to a lot of people, particularly a lot of black folk who have come out against him. But people get mad about it. Oh, y'all trying to take a black man down. No, he took himself down. Whatever happened to taking responsibility for the things that you do and stop trying to use someone's race, which I also heard his team is trying to do. Oh, they trying to use I'm a black man. They trying to take me down because I'm black card. They're trying to play the black card. It's funny how y'all run in these circles with these white folks, thinking that y'all one of them, thinking y'all be invited to to have a seat at the table, which is what a lot of these Diddy types do. And we've seen it over the years with not just him, but a lot of them. And then when you get reminded you ain't nothing but a ninja, then y'all want to come over here and play the black card. So they also went on to say, by presenting himself as a well-rounded individual, he may create complexity for jurors trying to process the allegations made against him. If Diddy can create confusion or cast any doubt on the consistency of the prosecution's claims, it may lead jurors to hesitate before reaching a guilty verdict. But I think people are, I'm trying to be optimistic and put a lot of faith in the judicial system, but I'm thinking like because the trial is most likely going to take place in New York, that people who are going to get in this case are smart enough to see through the BS and not be one of those, oh, well, he can create a little confusion or doubt in the prosecution. But that is a risk that you're willing to take, that you're willing to go to trial. Just know that if that happens, and you are found guilty, you're going to spend life in prison. So that's why they always say, like, don't take that risk. Because if you do take it to trial and you do want to testify, what you're going to you could end up hurting your situation. So they also said that his attorneys have been working overtime to make a solid case for Combs for his alleged innocence. They did say in court today they've talked to 50 witnesses. We said the same thing. We've been doing a parallel investigation every single step of the way. There's the same kind of universe of people here that he's been around. We're talking to people to show that we have a case. They said he's fighting, he's innocent. Yeah, okay. And he's going to be able to show it. This is what another one of his legal reps by the name of Tenny Garrigo said while talking with Chris Cuomo on the News Nation show Cuomo. Child, I'm over it. So yeah, so there's that story. And then we have another story that we're going to get, because I like to lump all this Diddy stuff up under one brush. So now there's another situation where they're talking about another high-profile person has been roped into Diddy's suspected federal sex crime scandal following his arrest earlier this month. Now this had me wonder, who is it? Is it Leonardo DiCaprio, allegedly? Because they said he another one that like to get down with the get down. He's a little freak when it comes to going to them parties. So I do wonder if it's somebody like a Leonardo. I'm just asking. I'm not saying it's him, but I'm just putting it out there because he has gone to Diddy's parties. So it said an attorney for one of Sean Diddy Combs' accusers claims someone contacted her regarding an alleged tape of the, sexual kind, featuring Combs as someone more high profile than the music mogul, who she said didn't appear to be an active participant in the videotaping. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, a lawyer representing a woman who claims Combs, now 54, SA'd her in 2018, revealed in a new interview with News. Why is everybody talking to News Nation? That she was separately contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially rep them in the sale of a tape featuring Combs, which she declined. And y'all already know what kind of tape it is. There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge. See, now this is the thing that I think that some people in my timeline on social media have been talking about in regards to how they feel that, oh, now these people out here using this stuff for clout. And there's everybody out here trying to get a payday in certain situations. Now, I feel for the people that have become victims of these circumstances, but I do find it a bit skeevish, a little nasty, a little shysty, a little messy, that we have people out here being like, it feels like blackmail. Or like some revenge. Would it be considered revenge corn? Because you can't say the other word with the P. YouTube algorithms and all. Demonetization of it all. Is that considered revenge corn? in regards to the story, because you have access to a tape, and what you're trying to do is shopping around to see who's going to buy it. Where's Vivid Entertainment? Remember back in the day when Vivid used to buy rounds with Hex tapes? They bought the one with Ray J and Kim. I believe they bought the one with Pam and Tommy Lee and a bunch of other ones over there. Did they go out of business? Why Vivid ain't buying it and then putting it out there? And I think they had the Colin Farrell one too. Oh, that's how I found out Colin Farrell like to eat the box. He's like, I want to have you for breakfast, lunch, and effing dinner. I remember that video like it was yesterday. Shout out to Colin Farrell, fine ass. But anyway, let's get back to this. So they said, so now you're out here trying to sell this video. And then you talking about you want to see if the celebrity that's in the video, who they won't mention, want to purchase it before it gets out in the public. So it does feel a little blackmail-ish. Oh, you better buy this video, otherwise I'm releasing it. So now, according to News Nation, Mitchell Kidd is repping a woman who claims Combs SA'd her with an inanimate object and directed another man to SA her before she escaped. The attorney said that she will be following that lawsuit within the week. As for the alleged tape, after being asked to elaborate by correspondent Laura Ingle, the lawyer claimed it was a catch and kill situation and that she can't explain who the other person in the video was, describing the person as more high profile than the diddler. Saying, I've seen stills of the video, okay? So you can verify that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video rhymes with corn, graphic in nature. Mitchell Kidd also claimed the video was allegedly filmed in a former Atlanta home belonging to Combs. Child, it was in Atlanta. Who was it, Tyler Perry? Anyway, let me not throw names out there before I end up getting a damn cease and desist. And it doesn't seem that it's the person isn't like looking into the video. So they probably don't even know that they're being recorded. That's probably what it is. Because if they're not looking directly at the video, first of all, a lot of people I think that was going to Diddy's parties or Diddy's house, like to me, that's some old Tony Montana paranoia, where it's like you got video cameras all over your house. But if you're doing freak offs and stuff, because it's like, look, when it comes to situations when you go to gyms or, you at a place of work or whatever, you can't have cameras in the locker rooms because that's a violation. You're filming people changing clothes, whatever the case it is. You can't show all of that. But if you in other parts of your house, I'm like, okay, I get it that you want to have cameras and stuff beaming down and you want to record what's going on in your house and you can keep tabs. But you putting people in situations where y'all having like threesomes and foursomes and more sums, and you filming this stuff without people knowledge, the diddler. Like to me, that's just effed up. And this person up there thinking that they got your trust and they getting a freak on. I'm not justifying the essays for the people that was up in there doing that. But for those who are just doing just like regular, just getting off, and here you go recording stuff and keeping it for your little personal spank bank or possible blackmail down the road, should you end up in a situation that you are in now, to me, that's just shiesty. So yeah, so they basically said that they didn't know, the person doesn't know they were being videotaped, and it seems like they're an active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded. So yeah, that's an unfortunate situation, and that's just, in my opinion, messy. So on that note, I want to know what y'all think of that story in regards to the whole thing. Who do y'all think it is that's on that tape? Y'all can throw some names I don't even know I threw out too, but I'm seeing with caution with that because I'm like, they be like, oh, you trying to say me? I said allegedly. It might be. I don't know. But who else? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of closet cases and a lot of butch queens or whatever that was out in the ATL that was probably on that video, because I'm sure, because look, that's Black Hollywood. So you'd be surprised who's on that tape. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that story in the comments down below. Now, in regards to the whole Diddy thing, let me get to my final story on him, which is this jail situation. So we got an inside look, according to the report, on what he might be dealing with in regards of these horrible conditions. Because they somebody's like, he's sleeping with rats. Well, child, you lay down with those, you end up with fleas, is what they say, right? You dirty rag, you killed my brother. Shout out to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that's where I got that from. But I'm not surprised by this whole situation. We talking about the conditions are barbaric and reprehensible. What was you expecting him to get, the 4 seasons? Like, I don't understand when y'all go to jail how y'all expecting to get the red carpet rolled out. If you go to other countries, the conditions are 10 times worse than what's probably in this report. Especially if you go to, I guess, those prisons like in Mexico and Colombia. So they said Sean Diddy Combs is currently being held in a notorious Brooklyn federal jail that has long been plagued by tales of barbaric and reprehensible conditions for inmates who have included notorious sex abusers R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Radar Online is revealing that the Diddler nightmare jail conditions as he languishes behind bars in pretrial detention at the Metro Detention Center in Brooklyn. Prison insiders say that the disgraced music mogul has been forced to sleep on a concrete floor in the facility's special housing unit as rats scurry around him. Well, Jesus, he ain't got a bed? Sources also say that Diddy has refused to eat over fears that his food has been tampered with, and other inmates at MDC Brooklyn reportedly taunt the rappers with lyrics from his songs. Take that, take that. So Diddy's jail conditions are said to be worse than Jeffrey Epstein's before the billionaire financier turned S offender was found hanging in his cell in August of 2019 at age 66. But according to journalist Jessica Reed Krause, the jailed hip-hop record producer has been placed in MDC Brooklyn Special Housing Unit due to fears that he will be unalived if he's held in the prison's general pop. Or is that I was going to say general population, but it's Gen Pop. The SHU, also known as the Hole, has been described as a small windowless room less than 10 by 10 feet. The diddler has apparently had no books, no TV, and minimal privileges while in the SHU, and is refusing to eat because he doesn't want to risk consuming food that have been laced with human feces. Ew. Well, child, based on the stuff you was making them victims do, that's the least of what you need to be worrying about what's in your food. Now, unlike Epstein, the diddler is alone in his jail cell. Prosecutors also reportedly requested all of the rapper's calls be monitored. Krause said despite allowances for others, Diddy is being kept in the harshest environment locked in the SHU. His attorney requested a transfer, but it was denied. Other inmates at MDC Brooklyn are said to be taunting Diddy when they walk by his unit. Some reportedly walk by singing Diddy's hit song Bad Boys for Life, while others reference his other songs about being locked up, saying, I thought you were a bad boy, man. Krause said he's sleeping on a concrete floor with a 2-inch mattress surrounded by rodents. As Radar Online reported, Diddy was taken to MDC Brooklyn after his arrest on Fed sex crime charges on September 16th. So yeah, that's basically the conditions he's in. It is a hot ass mess, child. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to be up in that situation. I really wouldn't. And do I kind of feel for him? I guess my cold heart is going to have to just say no, because if you didn't do the crime, you wouldn't be doing the time currently. And when a lot of y'all be going to jail or whatever the case is, it's a cackle to me how it's just the overall arrogance of it all. Like when you was out of prison being the mogul that you worked your behind off to be, you get to love and accept and enjoy and bask in the fruits of your labor, going to like high profile, 4-star hotels and eating the most expensive of dishes and the filet mignon and the lobster tail and all that other stuff. And you get to eat good and all this other stuff. And you get to bask in the fruits of your labor. But at the expense of these people that you tortured and you did damage to and you brutalized and you tormented and you did all these things to. Now, when you go from that lavish lifestyle to going to a prison cell, you get what you do. You get what you deserve. And you don't get to, oh, he's in horrible conditions and there's rats everywhere and all that. Okay, and thoughts and prayers. That's all I got to say on that. So I say, well, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are in this situation, like I get it. Our prison system isn't perfect and all this other stuff, but yeah, I kind of wonder what everybody else is dealing with because I like to bring up, and some people be clowning me on it, but I don't give a good goddamn. This is my show because I like to bring up Austin Wolf is in the same prison. What's his conditions? I mean, we heard his attorney say that the conditions are harsh in there for him too. So I'm sure he's dealing with the same mess until they can get his trial up and running and all the things they got going on with his case. So whatever your thoughts are on this situation, let me know in the comments down below. Now let me get to some of these comments before I get to the I'll be sure cease and desist, because that's a separate video. But yeah, I want to lump all the Diddy stuff together. Wait, hold on. Did I read this one? Oh, I think I did. You said Kylie performed in Miami in 2011 at the Aphrodite tour at the same place I saw Madonna at earlier this year. Well, that's great. They said I think Madonna episode is needed since they give Babyface the full credit for take about success. I think that's what you're trying to say. Though he said all the credit is hers. Even now, it's like, well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'll plan this. So when we get close to the new Madonna album coming out, then we'll do a full Madonna episode. I even open it up to getting some Madonna fans to come on the show and be in the comments, or we can get some people who can come on and be like a co-host. I can get maybe one person or two people to come on, and we could just talk all things Madonna and make it a Madonna episode. So I'm thinking that that would be a good thing. So definitely I will definitely be putting together a special Madonna episode when we get close to the album release. But we'll wait. Oh, you said Virgin was a great hook. Now Rodgers even says Like a Virgin is a Chic album fronted by Madonna. Well, you know, every time you hear Now Rodgers, you definitely hear Chic in the music. Even with Dula Peep working with him, you hear that Chic in the background. The attorney said it's now over 100 people. Oh damn, because yeah, yesterday it was like 70 something. So I knew it was 100, and we already said like when it's usually, that's why I always said like when it came to Dr. Luke, there was only one person that came out against Dr. Luke, and that was Kesha, and that was enough for some people. But it's weird how like there's one person came out, Cassie came out, and then like this snowball effect happened. Now you tell me over 100 people, um, but people still like defending him. Like I don't get it. It's just weird to me. So it said this is on the level. And speaking of R. Kelly, he was in that same prison. And it said Jeff Flake, a former GOP Arizona senator, is voting for Kamala Harris. I've heard of Jeff Flake. You said you saw that yesterday and said Rosie also told a story when she went to with Madonna record. This used to be my playground, and she said Madonna noticed one of the violins was out of tune, and she said that was when she realized Madonna is a real musician. Well, that's look. That's what people don't understand. Like with me, I have a trained ear. Like when I was coming up, I went to well, I actually learned how, I always had that ear for music. And then my teacher, Mrs. Dunstan and Miss Sharaby, shout out to the both of them, because I went to a school for gifted and talented kids when I was in elementary school in Brooklyn. Shout out to PS 327, what is now known as the Rose B. English School, which she was actually my principal. And whenever I was acting up, she got my behind together. So shout out to Rose B. English. They named the whole school after her because she was like the best principal. She made sure like all the kids that was in the hood, like we was basic because Brownsville, Brooklyn, like this is why I'm so glad I grew up in the time that I grew up in as a child of the 80s. We definitely got a good education growing up. Now I don't know what's happening to these kids. So I guess I lucked out with the time I was born. So yeah, so I got my musical education stuff, and I had like a good ear for music. So if I hear something that's out of place or whatever, when I do like staunch criticisms, it's because it's what I'm hearing. And it's like I have the opportunity where I can learn, and I still could take the time to learn how to play instruments and stuff, because I feel like as long as you're alive, you can pick up an instrument and learn it. But the piano was my go-to thing of choice. And all the other kids went to the violin. I went to I always went towards the piano. So that was my instrument of choice. And I could have went to the Brooklyn Music School and played Carnegie Hall and did other stuff. But I think what played into that was I think it was just growing up in the hood and then kids clowning you for being smart and doing things that they would clown you for. And I played into that. I allowed the peer pressure to get the best of me. And I regret that to this day, but I'm like, as long as I got breath in my body, I can still do the things I want to do. It just might be a little harder now. But those opportunities that I had back then, and my mother would tell me this story. She was like, and they were really trying to push you into doing the music thing, and I just wouldn't do it. So that's like one of my regrets. And I don't regret a lot of things, but that is one of the things I wish I would have pushed for. But yeah, but to answer that whole thing about, yeah, she is a real musician. And a lot of people think just because she was like a pop star that she wasn't in the studio noticing things out of place and making sure that she had full control over a lot of things she was doing. She was very hands-on in the studio and still is. So for people to continue to discredit how much influence that she has over what she does, the fans know. The haters are always just gonna be haters. So we pay them bitches no mind. So I heard Mila Kunis left Ashley because of the Diddy connection. Well, there's been rumors going around that they've broken up, and then they were recently spotted at a sports event, so they're trying to deny the rumors. But honey, first of all, I don't know how all of a sudden that's the straw that broke the camel's back, but she stood behind him when it came to the Danny Masterson stuff. And they both was on that 70s show. So now I know what you did over last summer. But anyway. But the Diddy stuff was the straw that broke the camel's back. Ciao, bye. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Albie Shore, who is going further in on his situation with this book that came out, this fake memoir. Because, he came out recently and it said that the book is fake. I heard it was doing really well on Amazon. Like they were saying it's a bestseller. But now people that I'm hearing that they're returning the book because now people have found out, in the words of Carly Red, it was all a lie. And now he out here suing or filing a cease and desist because the book claims that he was out here having sexual relations with the dealer. But he said, what you're not going to do is put some disrespect on my name, because Diddy and I never did nothing sexually. In fact, Albie Shore has gone on the record to say that he believes that Diddy has something to do with his being in a coma, that he was trying to take his life. And I believe it. So not long after sharing his point of view on Kim Porter's recently released book that he called fictitious, singer Albie Shore announced that he had sent the author, an Amazon cease and desist, as well as a demand for retraction and an apology. Now, Porter is the ex of Al's, and the two share a child by the name of Quincy, who y'all seen around, that he was being raised by Kim and Diddy. I don't know why Albie Shore wasn't in the boy life. I don't know if it had to do with his music career and he wasn't fit to be a father, but I have seen that he has been taking measures to want to be in his son's life. So kudos to him on that. So the fake book called Kim's Lost Words was released in the wake of her ex-boyfriend Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking arrest and includes a variety of wild, unsubstantiated claims. The funny thing was, when I saw this on the Daily Mail, first of all, they had Diddy as her ex-husband. One of the things that Kim and Diddy were not was married. Diddy's never been married. Diddy was a forever bachelor, which I always thought is because he was a closeted butch queen, and he was just going around beating on these women, but also getting in his licks by, hunching these men behind the scenes, using his freak party, the freak offs as a smokescreen. Because there was always rumors about Diddy being "How you doing?" and Wendy Williams was the one that was always spreading that rumor. And if you look at stuff about Diddy back in the day, we know a butch queen when we see one. So they said that now this was the cackle, because they said it was published under the alias Jamal T. Millwood by a man named Todd Christopher Guzzi. I think is how you say his last name, Guzze. But child, word on the curb is the man is a white man, but you over here using a black alias. Now ain't that some mess? Now, Guzzi, who also used the name Chris Todd, claims to have investigated other salacious celebrity stories, including those of JonBenet Ramsey, the Zodiac Killer, and Kurt Cobain, per Rolling Stone. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and CEO Andy Jassy were sent the cease and desist by Shore's lawyer, Robert J. Hantman, on Friday. The letter notes that he's been defamed by false and malicious statements published and seeks to put a stop to ongoing book sales, saying, "Shall you fail to comply with these demands within 10 days, we will have no alternative but to pursue all legal remedies available, including filing a lawsuit for defamation." This is what the correspondent warns per page 6. The publication described Todd as an investigative producer, author, and journalist. Elsewhere in Al's legal letter, he states that the Amazon bestseller falsely portrays Mr. Brown as engaging in fabricated sexual conduct, particularly with Sean Combs and the mother of his son Quincy, saying that they was having a threesome. By misrepresenting his personal life and fabricating serious false accusations of inappropriate sexual behavior, these defamatory claims have caused significant damage to Mr. Brown's reputation. Shore told Page Six, "The part with me, I have nothing to do with any activity of that nature. It's the most disgusting, heinous lie I have ever heard in my life." Now, Porter died in 2018 at age 47 due to lobar pneumonia. Now, her loved ones feel her legacy is being tainted by the contents of the mysterious book. And also, Albie Shore has come out and said that he wants them to reopen Kim's case because they feel that it wasn't pneumonia that took her out. If you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. The cease and desist letter further demands that, in addition to halting book sales, the author issue a public apology that must be clear, unequivocal, and widely circulated. Hartman told Page Six that Amazon should be held to a higher standard, saying, "As if a fake memoir is not enough, it is shocking that Jeff Bezos' Amazon would distribute it without any investigation of its validity and accuracy." And it's probably because anybody could just put anything up on Amazon and y'all can buy it. I don't even think that they vet whether or not things are true. I just think that anybody could put any kind of products up there, including books, especially if it was self-published. Now, Todd told Rolling Stone that he has sources who has Porter's flash drive and that he didn't ask too many questions about it, how he got it, or where it came from. Which I don't know anybody who's of sound in mind would do that. Like me, I'm asking questions. Where does flash drive come from? How legit is it? We got to vet what's on it. I'm not just going to take something and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna just write a book on it." And who's the person that gave it to you? He also divulged, "If somebody put my feet to the fire and they said life or death, is that book real? I have to say, I don't know, but it's real enough to me." Well, that's not enough, sir. He continued, "Sometimes you have to just put it out there. Maybe not 100% of the book is true, but maybe 80% is." Child, now if you don't get off my line with this mess. Now, this past week, Shore took to social media to share excerpts of the fake memoir in hopes to draw law enforcement to investigate the publisher. And then I saw that it was a little something something on, I think it was the Neighborhood Talk, that Albie Shore posted, um, where I think it was a video of Kempire, who was also, a pundit, where they basically said the following, and I'm gonna share that with y'all because he posted it on his podcast. I didn't even know Albie Shore had a podcast. But yeah, so he posted something, I guess, that, Kempire covered the story, and he basically posted the following. He said, "Everyone is returning the hashtag Amazon release of Kim's Lost Words after Albie Shore at Lady KP's close friends and family members exposed that it was a fake. With the global backlash of this impossible, nonsensical, edited after Kim's death buffoonery, including Albie Shore's name to add to the potential sales of millions of books, there will be a massive lawsuit, and the executive who greenlit this nonsensical book release on the platform will be investigated as well. This hashtag fake book was an all very calculated effort among several individuals inside and around the camp on its timing to distract from the horrific hashtag true crimes and multiple murders that have been swept under the rug and will be prosecuted." Wait for it. So, Homeland Security, CIA, FBI, all of them was a hashtag in the situation. And at this point, we're just gonna wait to hear what happens regarding this story and where it's gonna go. And I definitely will be keeping my eye on it as this story develops. Because I'm like, you know what? Shout out to Albie Shore for not only bringing light to the fact that this book was fake. I was like, even if it's this is another thing that I don't understand either. Y'all could have saved yourselves a whole lot of money on this damn book by just watching this show and going online and reading the blogs or whatever and getting the excerpts because they revealed the juiciest of details. Well, I did to y'all. Y'all could have saved a whole lot of money. But I guess everybody wanted to say they had the book and support. But yeah, if these things is lies and you want people to open up an investigation and look into the fact that these people are lying on your name and profiting off of these lies, then go after them. It's the same thing I say about anybody who's running out here saying that Diddy did anything to them and y'all just trying to jump on the bandwagon for clout or whatever the case is. If there's a way you could prove that these things are lies and you want to drag people's names into a situation when they know it's not true and these people are alive to combat what they're saying, then you go and you dot your I's, cross your T's, come forth with this situation and put it out there. So whatever your thoughts are on this story, I would definitely love to hear from you guys. So let me know what you think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now we got comments, and I see Felix says, I think that's why she stuck up for him. And because they were both on the same show. Yeah. And it's like you think you know somebody because that was that. But this is, and it's funny because it was Crystal Vanity, friends of the show, also was like, that's a strike too for Ashton. And I said the same thing. I was like, first you defend Danny Masterson, and then you defend Diddy. Like two situations you was caught up in. Which kind of makes me wonder, like, what type of person is Ashton Kutcher? Do we need to start doing a Surviving Ashton Kutcher episode? Like, there's some things we need to know about you, sir? I hope not. But if there is, then we'll talk about it. Now, speaking of people that they starting to dig into, let's talk about Chris Brown, because it came out today that, you know what, while there is a docu-series or documentary, I don't know how many episodes, if it's going to be an hour and a half or 2 hours, I don't know. But the people that produced Quiet on Set on the ID channel, they did one on, as we saw about the Nickelodeon thing. There's one in the works from Diddy. They already have one. So if people want to come out here and talk about, they only going after black people, it's a lie. Because they also did one on Nick Carter. Now we got one coming out about Chris Brown. And I saw the trailer today, and we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to play it because I don't know, if they're going to try to demonetize whatever the case was. I figured out a way around the ballerina one because I didn't play any sound. So I had it on mute and had the video playing, and it went through with gangbusters. But I'm not going to risk that with this because it's Warner Brothers. So, they said over a 2-decade career, Chris Brown has been chart-topping rap star. He's not a rapper. He raps, but he also sings. So I don't understand why the white media continues to just define him as a rapper. I guess whatever y'all want to go in and let have on black people, y'all want to lump them all in hip-hop. But Chris does rap, so I'll let that slide a bit. But I had to correct y'all. So it said Chris Brown legal troubles and history of violence are the subject of a new documentary from the investigation Discovery, the network behind Nickelodeon's child abuse expose, Quiet on Set. Now, out October 27th, Chris Brown, A History of Violence will launch ID's third annual No Excuse for Abuse campaign. The doc will explore the legal issues faced by Brown, the pop star behind songs like With You, Forever, and Under the Influence, which include DV and assault charges and SA allegations. Brown's troubles date back to 2009 when he beat his then girlfriend Rihanna, causing severe facial injuries and required hospitalization. It'd be hard for me to say that word sometimes. I don't know why, but it does. Brown pleaded guilty to felony assault and accepted a plea deal. In the years following, Brown pleaded guilty to a separate assault that was sued by a woman, alleging SA. That lawsuit settled out of court, along with a variety of other legal issues. Now, along with the logline, Chris Brown, A History of Violence will chart Chris Brown's past all the way back to his troubled childhood, explores the lasting impact of the cycle of abuse, and poses the question, how does a man with such a violent public record maintain his superstar status? Because I will say this, say what you want about Chris Brown, but his recent 11/11 arena tour has been selling out. It was a success. Technical issues notwithstanding, because there was some technical issues that I heard was happening, but people are still supporting Chris Brown. I know he did the Barclays Center. He ain't doing Madison Square Garden. So it said the documentary provides thoughtful reflections into each survivor's experience and the psychological destruction in the aftermath of the abuse. There's even a new accuser, if you watch the trailer, whose identity is hidden, comes forward with allegations against Brown saying, I have not spoken about this matter publicly, but that's the only way that he could be stopped. This is what the person says in the trailer. And I should also point out, immediately following the documentary, which airs on October 27th on the ID channel at 9 p.m. And I'm sure it's going to be on HBO Max. So I'm not even going to pay attention and care enough to set the timer. I'm going to just wait till it pops on HBO Max, which I am a subscriber of, and I'll watch it then. Dissect it and talk about it as a class, like we do with all the shows that we have. These documentaries that break down all the stuff. We did it with Quiet on Set. I talked a little bit about the Nick Carter one, and then we'll talk about this one, and we'll talk about the Diddy one when they're done with that. So I should point out that the View co-host Sunny Hostin will lead a conversation about intimate partner violence. And here's what she said in the statement. She said, throughout my career, I have always prioritized being a fierce defender of women and children. Because, she was a sex crimes prosecutor. She'll let you know that whenever she's on The View. Domestic violence is a very close personal issue to me as I reflect on my past as a prosecutor of these type of cases and in my role as a mother and public figure whose actions inform and help shape the next generation. This issue is a prevalent epidemic which knows no socio-economic boundaries, so I'm dedicated to expanding and continuing this crucial conversation. The more we know, the better we can help advocate for change as a society. And you know that she'll definitely be promoting this on The View. But what irritates me is when I was looking at the commercial, when I looked at the trailer, the comments I was reading, y'all got me tight with the comments because these are people up here literally windmilling hard for Chris Brown and defending him because their argument, this thing, y'all bringing up this stuff from years ago. And this is why a lot of people don't come forward with abuse because to me, it seems like you guys only keep bringing up Rihanna like that was the one and done time that he allegedly, according to the reports and everything in the story and the history of violence that the media has kept track of, that he's been a nuisance. And when they're talking about they're going to go back as far as his childhood, well, that was a smart thing to do because we heard the stories about how his mother was beat and abused by his father. And so they're going to dig into that. And that's a learned behavior. So what he witnessed as a child, you pass that down to him and he's doing it to other people. And he feels like his money, his power, his influence, and the protection of people in the music industry. So yeah, he's not on the level of like a Usher where he could just float through and do whatever, but he has a strong fan base that continues to support what he does, regardless of what he does. They love the bad boy persona. So yeah, I'm gonna read y'all some of the questions. Some of the comments. So some people was like, "See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. This is what happens when your community excuses your actions over and over. When them other people get into it, it's over with." And that's basically one of the comments that they brought up in regards to that. Another person went on to say, "Here we go with this SMH." Another person said, "What in the hell are the elites powers that be trying to do with Chris Brown? This man has a family and children. He paid his debt. Let the man live." And people was co-signing it. I'm like, what debt has he paid? Because I could understand if it was a one and done with Rihanna. And it was like, yeah, you did your penance. You showed that you changed. But y'all forgot about Carucci. Y'all forgot about the recent situation of him fighting, and there's a lawsuit with 4 dudes that said that he beat them along with, like, they jumped them, him and his goons or whatever who was working behind the scenes did this stuff. But of course, now you got people in here saying this is beyond ridiculous. Another person said, "How do you know this new accuser is telling the truth? Why is their identity being hidden?" Are you slow? Like, to me, and of course, it's somebody with no damn picture that said it on YouTube. So yeah, show who you are. If somebody's bullying you, if somebody beat you, if somebody abused you, yeah, show your face. Don't be a Jane Doe. Expose who you are so we can troll you on social media, so we can bully you on social media, so we could force you to want to unalive yourself. We know how this game is played. And y'all knew there's been many people over the years who hide their identity out of fear of retaliation. So we're not going to sit up here and try to play obtuse. I can't stand when people do that. Another person said the timing of this is very interesting. I think they really want to step on his possible Grammy nominations because he had a good year musically, sold out touring album, still charting. Well, here's the thing. It don't matter if this documentary would have came out or not. He's not going to get nominated, or he might get a nomination just to show whatever, but he won't win. They're not going to give him a Grammy, or they probably won't even nominate him. We know how the game is played. So another person that happened in 2009 when he was 19. Bro was 35 with 3 kids. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of y'all are still caught up in the thinking like it's the Rihanna thing. And it also shows y'all didn't watch this damn trailer. Y'all just basically saw the thumbnail and the headline, which is what a lot of people do, and just decided to drop a comment. And it goes to show me reading this how a lot of y'all didn't even watch the trailer. But then we have one more person. I'm gonna do 2 more. So, well, 3 more. So one said this is a wild-ish. Another person said Chris Brown the GOAT. Another person said leave the man alone. He made mistakes and learned from them and never did them again. Profiled the Caucasian male or female teachers who prey on kids every week. And didn't I tell you somebody was going to use that white mess? They were going to use that angle as an excuse. And I already said it before I even read that article. I said I'm gonna beat y'all to it because here it goes to show that y'all are just stupid and just saying stuff out of your mouth, just blowing hot air and don't even do your damn research. The people that produced this thing, The Quiet on Set, Dan Schneider ain't black. Last time I checked, Nick Carter is not a black man. So what are y'all talking about? So when y'all want to come up here and do that same tired ass narrative of y'all trying to take down the black man, y'all trying to take down the black man, so y'all just gonna ignore the white people they doing too. Now I can understand if it was imbalanced, then I'd be with y'all. But we all know what Chris Brown gives. So if y'all want to sit up here and continue to make excuses because, y'all want to do that, then go ahead. But the documentary is out, or it's done, I should say. It's coming next month. It's going to air on TV or whatever streaming service that you may have, HBO Max preferably, because that's the only place that will be able to air it. And then it is what it is. You either have a choice of you're going to watch it or you're not going to watch it. But it's coming. It's done. It is what it is. So argue with your mammy. So I say, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now, it said Mila was a minor. I have questions. Was she? Well, child, that is a question I wondered too. He probably on child. I wouldn't be surprised. I thought the same thing. He probably in them Diddy tapes. So lights, camera, action has 600 and not that number. Y'all need to change that. Not now with October 1st being tomorrow. We need to get over 666K. Well, I always read. You want to talk about reading? Let's talk about reading. And I will come with you with a receipt and some facts. So like I said, go argue with your mammy. So if y'all want to sit up in here and defend Chris Brown, you can continue to do that. But I'm gonna say what I say because I have a platform to do it. All y'all got is Twitter fingers and YouTube fingers and Instagram fingers because y'all don't have a platform like I do. I don't see Chris Brown as a superstar. Well, he's not a superstar. He has a steady fan base. And of people, particularly a lot of women, and some guys who support him, and that's great. If you like it, I love it. But if is he in the same conversation like a Usher or whatever? He had the potential, but he screwed that up, and so his career is what it is. Yeah, okay. You keep believing that lie if you want, but anyway, so we'll move on to the next topic, and we'll talk about Elton John. So basically, he shared a minor health update with his fans. Apparently, this came out earlier this month. I didn't know about it probably because I don't follow Elton John like that. But on Instagram on Tuesday, September 3rd, he revealed that he had a severe eye infection and that it impacted his vision. Now, according to the tabloids, if you believe them, according to Radar Online, they say there's more going on with his health than meets the eye. See what I did there? I had to throw that up in there. It was like, well, we talking about eye infections. Had to throw in a little joke. So it says that, according to Radar Online, so we're just going to take it with a grain of salt. They said that he can barely walk, but refuses to let it affect his public image. Well, he is 77. So he's getting up there in age. Now, on a recent red carpet appearance at the world premiere of his documentary, Elton John Never Too Late, John stunned his fans by arriving in a custom purple golf cart Well, I guess that's his version of a wheelchair. It said insiders claim this move was to hide the Rocket Man singer's reliance on a wheelchair. The insider says Elton refuses to be seen as weak. He's so determined to maintain a larger-than-life image, but the truth is he can hardly move without help. The insider continued, he doesn't know where he's going half the time. Well, damn, this is what got me worried, because he's a man of a certain age, right? And I don't know how old David Furnish is, his husband. Of course, probably years younger. But doesn't he have young kids too? Like, doesn't he have teenagers? I think at his big age. To see that you got a father that's at death's door and using a wheelchair to get around, that would worry me a little bit. So they said that that's why the golf cart makes sense. It's a way to hide the truth from the cameras. Now, Elton's focus now is all about cementing his legacy. He wants to control the narrative of his life as an artist, husband, and father before someone else does it for him. His ability to get around is the latest in a growing list of health struggles for the aging rocker. Now, John, who retired from touring in 2023, has battled multiple medical issues in recent years, including pneumonia, persistent hip and knee trouble, prostate cancer, and type 2 diabetes. Well, she is a big girl. He also had a pacemaker installed following a health problem in 1999. Well, goddamn, what you was doing? But meanwhile, you mad at Madonna for winning for winning for her music and call her a lip syncer. You shouldn't be worrying about your damn health. In sickness and in health. So there she go with her cane. Now, in early September, John announced he had an infection that left him nearly blind in one eye. He wrote on Instagram, he said, over the summer, I've been dealing with a severe eye infection that has unfortunately left me with only limited vision in one eye. I am healing, but it's an extremely slow process, and it will take some time before the sight returns to the impacted eye. Now, John said he had been quietly spending the summer recuperating at home, saying, I am feeling positive about the process I have made in my healing and recovery thus far. Now, in his post, he thanked the excellent team of doctors and nurses, as well as his family, who have taken good care of him over the last several weeks. So, yeah, he's been married. So, David Furnish is 61, and they've been married since 2014, and they have two kids, actually, two sons, Zachary, who's 13, and Elijah, who's 11. Admitted in his new Disney Plus documentary that his sons worry about his mortality. Well, this is what happens when you older than Methuselah and you decide to lay down and have kids at your big age. So I would never want to get to a point where I have children and I got to worry about, okay, my sons are teens and I'm not even going to be living long enough to see them get to become adults, get married, and bring me grandkids. So I would worry about that at one point. But yeah, but I get it. Elton John had his kids late in life because, he was out being a closeted pop star with a receding hairline until he got himself a wig treatment like he was La Menendez. And so Furnish said, Furnish, who actually co-directed the documentary, opened up about John's admission in the film that he would not be around forever. Said the elder's been through a lot, but he's also as strong as an ox. He rarely cancels shows. He's a strong man. He's a healer. He'll probably outlive me. He's just so tough. Look, I want him to be around forever. And both of us, in the 30 years we've been together, we're only just at this moment that we've only ever dreamed of. So, with all jokes aside, Elton John, take care of your health. Get well. I'm glad that you have this documentary coming out because it basically it highlights your legacy, and you are someone who is an icon within the music industry. Shadiness notwithstanding, he's a homosexual. Of course, he's gonna be shady. So that comes with the territory. But my biases with Madonna put aside. I definitely want him to take care of himself and get well and be there, for your kids. So I say let's say whatever y'all think of this story, I definitely want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have a comment. Robert says, is it bad to say it as a Madonna fan? This is karma for how he treated her and his friends as Rush Limbaugh, Putin, and a few other homophobes. Oh yeah, the people that he be endorsing too. Child, he another one that give me the side eye, like a tired old queen. Okay, so Speaking of title queens, let's get into Madonna. I'm joking. I had to crack a joke. It's like, let's talk about Madonna. And, she made the announcement today, and the Madonna fans are gagging. The Rebel Hearts. They clutching their pearls. They are gagging over over the news that she took to social media a couple hours ago, this morning, I should say, where I'm sure it's like, London, they're a couple of hours ahead of us. So that's why she probably released it. She's probably well into recording the album. She basically revealed that she's working on the follow-up to Madam X. A lot of people was wondering, because in the beginning, when I was first writing the article, I was wondering, I'm like, is this a follow-up to Madam X? Is this another one of like a rejuvification of some of the music she did in the past? And Stewart is actually helping her cipher through a lot of the old classics and things. But no, it has been reported that this is a follow-up to Madam X. So she is working on new music. And we know last year, before she got with before the Confessions tour, I'm thinking of that because of Stuart Price, and he worked on Confessions. Before the Celebration tour, she was in the studio working with what's his name? She was in the studio working with Max Martin on a new album. And so she's in the studio cooking up some new music. So and the fans are excited. So let's pull up the Instagram, because she revealed the carousel of photos. So yeah, this is her in the studio with Stuart Price, and the fans are equally excited because they feel like they created the best work together. So it looks like Madonna's back at work on the follow-up to Madam X, because moments ago, the pop icon unleashed a carousel of photos of herself on Instagram in a London studio with none other than Confessions on a Dance Floor producer Stuart Price. A source said that Stewart was credited with helping Madonna return to form with her Confessions album, so for her to start working again with him is hugely exciting. That record was incredible, and Madonna is excited about what they can come up with. It has been 5 years since she released Madam X, which was a concept album, and Madonna is ready to put down some new tunes. Working with Stu on her tour reignited the spark. She has fire in her belly and cannot wait to get started. Now, Madge confirmed that she was in London to work with Stu last night and shared photos of herself at Stamford Bridge. Now, I'll say, as a Madonna fan, while she has given us plenty of bops throughout her 4-decade career, in my opinion, post Confessions, her body of work has been a mixed bag. We've talked about it plenty of times on this show. And so, yeah, there was that. But I wanted to also bring up, there's this picture that I want to bring up, because I was like, this was her back in the day when they was working on Ray of Light. This is when he was, her musical director, working behind the scenes with her on the Drowned World tour. And this is a recent photo of them in the studio, or not in the studio. I think this was during the Celebration tour. They had, I think it was like one of her, like a party or something or another that he was there for. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember that there was something that they had rekindled, they had hung out, that sort of thing. So yeah, here's another photo of them where she's on the floor. He's got all his little keyboards and synths and things around, and they're cooking up some material. Girl, had to throw that in there. So look, Stewart not only gave us Madonna's best dance album with Confessions, but he's also produced huge hits for Kylie Minogue. He did produce her Aphrodite album, and that album still slaps. He also worked with Dua Lipa, better known as Dua Lipa, but I call her Dula Peep. Shout out to Wendy Williams. He also produced stuff for The Killers, George Ezra, and Take That, who was a part, the band that Robbie Williams was in. He's also the creative music director on her recent Celebration tour, so it is fitting that they're joining forces and working on some new music together. I also think that since they are working together again, that the fans have high expectations for this new music. So with them working together, there is high expectations. Like, people are thinking, I saw people commenting on my Facebook, and they were like, we need a Confessions Part 2. I don't want to call it Confessions Part 2, but I get what they meant. I don't want a sequel to what they did back then. I do want a dance record from Madonna. Dance music is definitely having a resurgence. Quiet as it's kept, it really went nowhere. I always listen to dance music. I work out in house music at the gym, and there's a lot of DJs that I've been listening to that definitely keeps me, working up a sweat when it comes to, working off these pounds and stuff when I'm working out. So her getting back with Stuart Price is someone who's really good at, like, listening to music, taking a lot of influences, taking a lot of ideas, and stitching it all together. And that's basically what Kylie Minogue did when she brought in Stuart Price. I don't believe that Stuart Price was the initial producer on that album, but he was brought in to kind of help bring a lot of those ideas and connect everything. And and Madonna definitely. He did that definitely with Madonna's Confessions album, how he stitched it all together and made it feel like this ongoing DJ set, which is why I love the CD. The Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, whatever you want to call it, that version, I don't like that because the cuts that you have in between where they skip to the next thing, I don't like the way that it sounds when you listen to it in digital form. I prefer the CD because the CD has a great flow to it, where how it goes into the next songs. Where you have Hung Up and then it goes into Get Together, and then it goes into the next song, the next song, the next song, the next song, and how it has that flow and that connection. It feels like one full, unskippable, one-track album. That's what it feels like. It's a DJ set, as I was saying. So yeah, he's all like I said, he's also the creative director of her recent celebration tour. So it is fitting that they're working together. I just hope that they're able to break the curse of her previous collaborators and are able to create magic again, which William Orbit, who produced her Ray of Light album, failed to do with MDNA, and Mir Ways, who produced her album Music, failed to do with Madam X. I'm also hoping she doesn't succumb to this horrible trend of making songs that clock in under 3 minutes. Now, that has been an issue that I've been having with a lot of music. I've noticed Kylie Minogue's been doing that a lot lately, pandering to the TikTok audience. And then Nelly Furtado just did it with her album. I don't want another damn album that goes under 30 minutes. Madonna, you are an icon. You are someone who sets trends. Like even Beyonce. Beyonce didn't give us a 30-minute album with Renaissance. She didn't give us a 30-minute album either with Cowboy Carter. So you need to be in that I don't give a IDGAF situation where it's like I'm gonna just put out music and the album gonna be like if a song that I'm producing with Stewart needs to be 3.5 minutes, it could be 3.5 minutes. If it clocks in under 3 minutes, then if the song warrants that, then that's great. If we come up with a song in the studio and the song turns out to be a 5-minute house track that's building until we get to that big explosion of beats, and I'm trying to take you to a sense of euphoria, then if the song turns out to be 5 minutes or over 6 minutes, then that's what we need to do with the song. The songs need to, whatever song that we're working on needs to fit the requirement of whatever we're trying to do creatively. I'm not going to stifle my creativity because I want to hit a TikTok algorithm. When Quiet as It's Kept, I'll be putting a lot of my little clips and stuff on TikTok and they be hitting them huge numbers. So I don't feel like at this point anymore, you need to conform to a 2.5 minute thing when TikTok allows longer form videos, or you can even put up longer songs. That should not be the end all be all and the dictation of what music is. Like I said, if a song warrants it to be certain time periods, then let it be. So mote it be, as the witches like to say. Or Wickeds, whatever you want to call it. So I'm also hoping that she doesn't succumb, like I said, about the songs. What else did I say in regards? Oh yeah, so now as for the unreleased songs that she worked on with Max Martin, I want to know what's going on with that because prior to the celebration tour, she was in the studio with Max Martin. I do feel like maybe Max Martin, some of the elements of what she worked on with him will probably still be prominent. I'm wondering if she's going to still work on those songs or if she's going to scrap them all together and be like, you know what, let's just work on whatever we're working on and that's that. But I feel like because Max Martin is a super producer and an icon and someone who has worked with a plethora of artists over the years, I hope she does continue working on those Max Martin tracks, but bring Stewart in to kind of like bring it all together, along with the newer material that they're working on that she's been inspired by. I also hope, because she's working with Stuart Price, that she's going back to form as she used to do back in the day, which is you work with 2 producers and maybe one other songwriter and not an army of producers in a writer's camp. Because we all know that that was just not something that Madonna was good with. It affected Rebel Heart. Madam X was a mess. A lot of her other albums, like I said, post Confessions was a mixed bag. A lot of people will tell you that they feel like she jumped on the bandwagon a little too little too late with the album that she did with Pharrell and Timbaland. So, and I do feel like by the time she got on that whole futuristic pop bandwagon, It did feel a little dated, but I will say this: if I had to choose between who gave the better production on, damn, why can I not remember that album? The album that had Candy Shop on it. Like, what's going on in my brain there? I'm just forgetting a lot of stuff. But anyway, if I had to choose Hard Candy, thank you. It came to my head just as I just thought about it. And I'm sure somebody already dropped the name in the comments as it came to me. But anyway, so when she did Hard Candy, right? To me, I felt like her production with Pharrell outweighed what she did with Timbaland. Timbaland's music just sounded like old typical Timbaland, and just a bunch of Justin Timberlake rejects. It just felt like Timbaland and Justin was all over that. But that retro futuristic vibe that she did with Pharrell definitely worked for me. I like those songs more so than the stuff she did with Timbaland. So I also think that the fans want Madonna to capitalize on the fun, energetic vibe of her last tour and release another dance album and leave the politics off the record. So I'm really hoping that this is just a fun record. We're not getting into politics. We're not getting into all that heavy stuff. I feel like you've been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. I just feel like with this record, we need to have fun. I feel like she's in a great place right now. Like she's got her younger man that's, throwing her back out. I've been seeing her recently where she was at one of his games, and in the box, like she's giving Taylor Swift realness with supporting her man. Although recently, we're gonna get into the story about Taylor Swift later with the Travis Kelce situation and how all the drama around that and him losing his games. But Madonna is supporting her man, who is also an athlete, and they're doing a thing, and she's up in the box and she's supporting him as a girlfriend should, because he's gonna clear them pipes later on. And now I like the fact that, with in the current political climate and all this other stuff that's going on, I need a distraction. I need a moment to escape. I need to take me out of the drama that's going on with all this stuff going on in the world, because it's just too damn serious. Everybody out here got an attitude. Everybody out here acting all stink. There's too much arguing and fighting and all these other things going on with that whole situation. And so, hold on. Let me take a trip over to Madonna's IG and read some of the comments of what the people saying in regards of first of all, Madonna's thing was already there. I don't know why I opened it up to went the long way. Okay, so the people in the comments, she wrote London calling back with in the stew with Stuart Price. Now she said go Chelsea. I guess she's referring to the team, I guess, that her man plays on, because there's a soccer ball that's thrown there as well. He is a footballer. But the thing with this is this. So now I would have, if I was her, I would have put London calling ... back in the stew with Stu. That's what you should have did. That would have been a little more clever, and we would have got it because Stuart Price. Oh yeah, so these are the pictures that I was telling you about of her supporting her man, and she's in the box. You're gonna see her in any second supporting her man. Yeah, you better do it. You better get that ball. And yeah, she's showing her support for her man. All right, daughter. But now we back in the studio, and we'll leave it there. So yeah, she posted like a carousel. I love the fact that Instagram allows like 20 photos instead of like 10. So yeah, some of the people said the following in the comments. So I wrote, I need a new genre-breaking dance pop record from the Queen. Another person said, you could say what you want, but Madonna will forever be the queen of pop no matter what. Another person said, OMG, OMG, OMG. I've been calling your name like a little prayer that you get together with Stuart again. LFG, really with the corny puns, but you're a fan, so we'll go along with it. So another person said, please, Queen M, new music, new song. Well, obviously you see in the photos in the carousel, she is working on new music. But I guess she was being vague and people didn't get it. But one person said, please let it be new music and M15. So yes, it is the 15th new album. So basically, what a lot of people say, new confessions, they want new music. Let's go, mom. I'm sure this is a banger. And yes, it is that, you know what, there is high expectations because, like I said, Stuart Price is a part of the situation, and people are definitely expecting her and him to be cooking it up. And here's the thing. Stuart Price is a genius in regards of his production style, dance music. He's a DJ, also a producer, and I feel like he's going to give her the undivided attention because he is a person that came up at a certain time. So it's not going to be like one of these people that want to be a celebrity, like a Diplo or somebody else, which she has worked with in the past, that's going to, be focused on themselves rather than her as the artist. So, and I believe she's in his home studio because that's where they worked on Confessions. They worked at his home studio back in the day. I don't think that's the same one, but I'm sure she's at his house laying down some tracks. So I say all this to say, Madonna fans, what do y'all think of this story? Are you excited for some new Madonna music? And what do you think that we're going to be expecting from this new album? And with this new album coming out, probably in 2025, are y'all here for a new Madonna tour? And if we get a new Madonna tour, what do you expect from the new Madonna tour? Would you like the new music mixed in with the hits? Because I do feel like she needs to mix that up. I do feel like don't just give us like three of the classics. I really feel like I would like some of what you gave us, but of course rejudged, because she don't give us the same thing. She ain't Janet Jackson. She actually does give us, she changes things up. She ain't gonna give you all the same damn two-step, the same damn costume, and the same damn stage that she been doing for the past 10 damn years. What she's gonna do is I want the greatest hits, but mixed in with the new music. And it all kind of tells a beginning, middle, end story, which is what she does when she's on her tour. So whatever your thoughts are on this situation, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And yes, Janet gonna keep getting that damn stray. So, so they said, when Chapel was photographed with him, he was sitting on a chair. Well, yep. So basically, I guess the story is true in regards to his health is deteriorating. But I mean, it's bound to happen. He's in the 70s. He's close to his 80s. I'm guessing Madonna's album will come out in the spring. Well, that would be a smart thing to do. Child, can you imagine? Her, and Lady Gaga come out around the same time. I mean, these days you could produce an album real quick. You can come out you could work on the album for a couple of weeks, let Stewart go in and do his tweaks and production magic and all this other stuff. They working on stuff together. Madonna has herself writing the songs, and then she has her writing partner or whoever come in, and then Stewart also is a songwriter, so he'll come in and they'll throw out ideas or whatever the case is, and then that'll be that. And then you could just release the album. All you gotta do is a damn photo shoot. I mean, I would love a physical copy of the record, but also these days you could just hire somebody to take a bunch of photos, and the photos be done in a New York minute. I have a friend, David Laff, who is real fast when it comes to how he takes photos. Like he could do a photo shoot with you, and then within hours, photos is already perfect, pristine, and he works fast, unlike some of these other photographers. So I got to give my friend his flowers. That's why I always work with him. Because when we did our photo shoot, he literally the next day I had my photos. And y'all seen them online. So it said, I heard they stopped talking for a while because there was a rumor. She said something about his. I think there was some drama that was going on, and there was some differences of opinion. I don't exactly remember what it was. I think Robert would probably know. But yeah, there was a situation where they stopped talking for a while, but then they patched things up around the time of the Celebration tour. It's funny how she's let bygones be bygones with a lot of people. I would love for her to make things right with Junior Vasquez. That's what I would love to see her get back with. I know they had their issue back in the day, and there was a situation, and he got pissed off and released that, and Madonna calls I'm not here because she was being a nuisance back in the day. Madonna was being Madoo-doo. Yes, she was. She was being Madoo-doo. Whenever she's a BI, fill in the blank, that Madonna becomes Madoo-doo. Which is what people I know used to call her back in the day when she was a nuisance. And when she was doing all of that, that's when he released Madonna Calls in spite. But I really feel like I would love for them to work things out. They're in the same age range. They're both people of a certain age. Junior's still out here doing his thing. Madonna's still out here doing her thing. I really feel like they need to make it work again. They need to bring back the nonstop mix, but because it was one long track, unfortunately, it got taken down because of streaming numbers. But they could do it like 12 tracks, like the CD version. Well, yeah, and I'll definitely buy the CD version just to have it. I'll buy two. One for me to listen to and one for me to just, but it's hard now. Now they make these drives or whatever where they don't even have CD-ROMs in them anymore. So it's hard to like listening to CDs. I couldn't tell you, I wouldn't know where to find a damn CD player if you put a gun to my head. I probably would have to go on Amazon or one of them and buy like an old used one. But I would love to like listen to it on a CD player or whatever the case is. Cause now they don't even make drives or anything like them anymore. Or I probably have to use like like a PlayStation or something or another and do it that way. Like a PS4, PS3, one of those things. PS4. She should bring back the 4 to 5 minute song. Exactly. We need that. Like not just her, but that's why I applaud Beyonce for doing her long form songs. And Renaissance was still a hit. So I definitely feel like, you know what? All these other people out here trying to conform to this whole 2.5 minute thing. I really feel that maybe Madonna needs to be the one to revolutionize bringing the 5 minute pop song back. And, she's not going to be able to, radio is what it is. Radio showed their true colors with her and the ageism and all that other stuff. And they've been doing it with Kylie Minogue as well. But then she shut them down and made them feel like Boo Boo the Fool when she released Padam Padam. And that became a huge hit. They were trying to prevent that from getting on the charts because it was ageism. But I love the fact that she's changed that. So it's ever since Confessions, she started using rap again. Please don't no rappers. I forgot to mention that in the thing too. No rappers. I need this to be just you on the track and that's it. I need just a full-fledged Madonna record. I don't want a Maluma. I don't want a Takesha. I don't want a Sway Lee. I don't even want a Nicki Minaj. I don't want nobody. It needs to just be you and the producer. Yeah, she needs to. Put us in a trance, honey. And so you said people are saying maybe Max Martin was axed after the lackluster. Lackluster. Child, first of all, Ariana Grande, I need them to put a muzzle on her. Because I saw a report today that she was out here windmilling hard for Ethan Slater. Because that movie coming. The one with her and Cynthia Erivo, which I guess is going to be a hit. I'm not the demo for it, so I could care less about Wicked. But I heard she was out here defending her man. I'm like, okay, home wrecker, you can stick your foot in your damn mouth. But here's the thing: just because he was lackluster with the Ariana Grande production doesn't necessarily mean that what you guys were coming up with lackluster. What if he was actually producing some good stuff with her? So I would love to hear what it is. And I think here's the thing: I'll give him his credits. Kind of like remember when she did the Avicii stuff, and then she brought in somebody else to rework the songs. I'm hoping that she does that with this and bringing in. It's like where we have some ideas, we cooked up some good stuff, and I'll give a little something to Max Martin for him to go away and not sue me in court. But I'm gonna just have Stewart come in and throw his magic on some of these other songs. And you said, oh, because you said he executive produced it allegedly isn't on Grammy's Album of the Year shortlist or even Ariana in any categories. Well, I did not like Eternal Sunshine. I thought that album was boring. They say he really effed it up with If Madonna Calls, but she promised him to appear in a charity for children and cancer, and he said that she had to do the Evita commitments, which was important for award season. So he probably got mad over that she chose, an award and all that stuff over a charity situation. And I can understand why you would feel that way because while Junior Vasquez was popular in pop circles, well, dance music, underground club music circles, Madonna was the biggest star. So I could definitely. Oh, you said you could feel, yeah. And I have all the PlayStation. I mean, yeah, I have all the PlayStations, so I could play them in there. Radio was very limited to popular in the US, and The Weeknd is huge here. The same happened for me against the music with Britney Spears. You know what? If she actually brought in The Weeknd to work on some stuff, like some synth poppy type stuff, I wouldn't mind that either. I would like for her to work with him again. I like popular. And I may not like The Weeknd personally, but I do like his music. Especially that album that he put out, the synth poppy type stuff. I love a synth. And it said Max Martin has lost his. Well, yeah, I hated to say it because I was thinking it, but I'm glad you said it. So now we'll go along with it. I do agree. He has gotten up there where it's like he lost his juice, and it happens. Not everybody could say, you want to be on top. Not everybody could be on top. Not everybody could be Tyra Banks. We all can't be on top forever. The new Ariana Grande and new Conan were boring. Funny enough, I was supposed to be working Conan's show tonight, but I was just like, I got a show to do with y'all. Well, I considered it. Wait, actually, you didn't like Conan's album? I like some of the songs on there. And maybe he'll be able to sell. I need to look on YouTube and watch some of his live performances. Maybe he'll be able to sell those songs. But I do agree, I like the Bowie glam rocky mixed with 80s synth type of vibe that he's going for. But I feel like that he needs it needs to be a little more energetic. Maybe work with some other Swedish pop artists. Like, you know who I used to like back in the day, but they reminded me of Blondie? There was this group that came out called The Sounds. They had some really good music too. Where it was like that it was like they're a Swedish band, but they kind of played into that whole Blondie glam dance type of vibe. So I feel like maybe he needs to go into that. They said even Taylor couldn't persuade him to work on the re-recording of 1989. And I like 1989. I told you I may not be a Swiftie, but I like the music he did on that record. I think Ariana needs to go more experimental. I love Ariana when she was 15, 16, but her new music, I'm glad I ain't the only one. And you're younger than me, way younger. And you said that you was even bored with her music. Yeah, she's boring. So in the words of her, to use her own words in regards to this new music, thank you, next. So yeah, a lot of it is boring. And I do think she needs to experiment and stop with the blackfishing. Because you've been there, did that. And so she needs to understand radio isn't playing, but she is huge in Canada and Europe. And first of all, Madonna is Madonna. She doesn't need radio. The internet, that is your weapon. You've already solidified yourself. You have your fan base. If the younger fans want to come along and listen to the music, and shout out to all the young kids out there who have started to discover Madonna and are doing their deep dives and doing their reaction videos and all the other stuff on YouTube. And I watch you guys, and I love the fact that y'all are discovering her and giving her flowers. So shout out to them. If y'all if that demographic wants to come along and listen to the music and enjoy it or whatever the case is, then we welcome y'all with open arms. But I do feel like at this point, stop trying to fight to get radio to give you attention. Stop trying to fight for all these other people. The old guard is the old guard. Let them wither and die over in the weeds. And you just focus on rebranding yourself for the future and the next thing, which is using the internet as a way, because you are Madonna. Everybody knows who you are. So all you need to do is say, I'm dropping a new album, and the internet will do its work for you because you are a superstar. So you said she needs to understand radio isn't playing, but she's huge in Canada, Europe, and Latin America. Just focus on us. I love you, Madonna, but America gave you the middle finger because of the Iraq stuff, even though you were right. Absolutely. And now people these days are giving her flowers because they realize y'all was not ready to hear the truth of her with that American Life album. But now y'all here for it. American Life killed her career in the U.S., said Madonna and Tove Lo and S.G. Lewis. You know what? I would like to see her work with S.G. Lewis. That's another one who's come out with some real good music. And especially since Tove Lo, if it wasn't for Madonna, we wouldn't have a Tove Lo who is out here using her sexual and being very explicit in her sexual desires with her music. Madonna was doing that with erotica and the sex book. So yeah, she has ushered in this new generation that feels open enough to explore their sexuality. Christina Aguilera to Tove Lo. I notice how Ariana is tan or doing the blackfishing thing now that she's Glinda the Good Witch. Is she back to doing the blackfishing? Oh yeah, you meant is it? Yeah. Yeah, now she remembered her ass is Italian. As Ariana looks like her skin is being powdered. No, she's looking like powder. And you said Tove Lo, Icona Pop, and Charlie XCX are the future of gay pop dance and queer sex culture. Absolutely. And I need some of you gays to jump on the bandwagon. So I feel like Troy, you need to jump in on that, and Lil Nas X, you need to jump in on that too. Y'all need to kind of start working with, like, I feel like Lil Nas X, fuck hip hop. Like, if you want to do the hip hop beats or whatever, you can, but also mix it in with that dance music. Sidebars. Shout out to Sophie, because I don't know if I mentioned on the show, but I'm obsessed with her new album. It's very experimental. And I love it. I was working out to it the other day in the gym. And it said, isn't she featured on, well, that's the rumor. The actual official list has not been released yet, but I have heard rumors that Madonna is on the new Charlie album. Would actually like to hear what she would sound like on an AG Cook production. The main reactor I follow is Empress. She's doing a Madonna journey. But oh yeah, I like her too. And watching all her videos and a lot of interviews. Like, so I want a pop girl to make a trip hop album. Can you imagine if trip hop came back? I was just thinking about that the other day because I was watching this video on the Sneaker Pimps and how they did the lead singer Dirty and then the drama they had with because one of the producers wanted to be the singer. He was singing the demos in the beginning, and then they brought in this girl, and they were trying to be anti whatever, and so they were being all stink with their attitude. But I did like the music. They definitely did their thing in the production, but they overall, the way they was acting in that band, I can see why y'all flopped after that first album. So then the second album came along. The girl, I forget her name, was Kelly, I believe. She realized she wasn't a part of the band no more. They had moved on. They was changing it up, and the fans were like, oh, wait a minute. We liked what we had before with Sneaker Pimps. Now y'all trying to come in and change up the situation. But yeah, I was a huge trip hop fan back in the day. I was listening to Sneaker Pimps. I was listening to Portishead. I was listening to Bjork. I was listening to Tricky. Look at me naming all, going down the whole memory lane. As I'm saying, I was listening to more Chiba. So I was a trip hop head. I was even into like damn, what was that? No, it wasn't Garage because it wasn't before Garage. What is it? Drum and Bass? And when Ronnie Size and Represent, there was a lot of like black artists that I was listening to back in the day from that era. I went through a whole trip hop phase. Even with the tank top and the parachute pants, which I'm starting to see is making a comeback. Shout out to my childhood making a comeback. Because I'm seeing a lot of the 90s rave looks is starting to make a comeback. So it's S.G. Lewis, that heterosexual guy, okay with queer sexuality like Tiesto and Calvin Harris. The videos for Heat EP, that's how open-minded. Well, I feel like producers need to be a little open-minded in the type of ideas and stuff that they want to explore. But anyway, let's move on. How many more topics we have until the end of this show? 3 more topics and we're done. But shout out to y'all with the stuff. Oh yeah, he said I love Sneaker Pimps. I'm glad we got some people in here who know who I'm talking about. Low Place Like Home. I still listen to that damn song. And yeah, Spin Spin Sugar and Six Underground were like their big hits. And then they were on the remix to Long Hard Road Out of Hell, which there was a drama situation with that, Marilyn Manson, and they had a whole beef, but then they ended up on the remix, which I believe was on the Spawn soundtrack, but then there's a original version that's on Manson's album. Which one was it? Was it Antichrist Superstar? I think that song is on there on that one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. But correct me in the comments if y'all know. If you know, you know. Okay, so now let's move on and let's talk about Taylor Swift, and then we'll get to the rest of your comments afterwards. Because the Swifties are out here defending Travis Kelce after this NFL analyst basically was saying that he blames Taylor Swift for Travis Kelce playing like crap. And after this, I think I'm gonna defend Taylor Swift on this because I'm like, this is some BS. Y'all need to go sit down somewhere with this. So Taylor Swift fans rushed to the defense of Travis Kelce after an NFL analyst slammed the Kansas City Chiefs tight end. Ooh, he got a tight end. Let me find out. Following his poor start to the 2024-25 season in his quest to become a 4-time Super Bowl champion. So angry Swifties had hit back at NFL analyst Rodney Harrison after he blamed Travis Kelce's latest lackluster performance for the Kansas City Chiefs on his other commitments. The reigning Super Bowl champions extended their perfect start to the season to 3-0 on Saturday night as they beat the Atlanta Falcons 22-17. Isn't the Atlanta Falcons the former team that Kim Zolciak ex-husband Croy Bierman was a part of? Anyway, so they said, but it was another quiet night for Kelsey, whose girlfriend Taylor Swift skipped the game as cameras caught him looking particularly miserable on the sideline in a clip which went viral. Now, Kelsey only had 4 catches for 30 yards in Atlanta and continued what's been a unusually sluggish start to the season for the 34-year-old as he looks to add 4th Super Bowl ring and 3rd in a row to his collection in 2024. Now, working for NBC, Harrison was scathing in his criticism of Kelsey after the game and said, he's busy. He's got a lot on his plate. And what if he does? Now, child, don't he look like Billy Porter? Minus all the hair extensions and them crazy ass outfits that he be looking foolish in. He was giving me Billy Porter tease in this photo. So he said, you think about it, he's doing a lot of different things media-wise. He's playing football. He's got other things going on. When you're in that situation, you've got to forget about everything else and focus 100% on football. That's the main responsibility. Guys are making plays on him. Jesse Bates did a heck of a job on him tonight. He, Kelsey, just doesn't have the same speed. He's a good player still, but I don't believe he's a great player. Well, of course, the comments drew a furious reaction for some of Swift's loyal fans, of course known as the Swifties, and they took to social media to defend the Chiefs tight end. And you want to know something? To me, I feel like if he wasn't in a relationship with Taylor Swift, I wonder if you would have had that same energy for any other player. Especially, what was the name? Harrison Butkiss. I wonder if you would have said that about him. If Patrick Mahomes was playing the way you're saying that that Travis is playing, would you have said that it's Brittany Mahomes who, is, oh, he's got a lot of things going on, like, with all of that? Would you have been saying that with the excuse because even though you wasn't saying it, you're pretty much alluding to, oh, he's busy trotting around town with Taylor Swift, or he's basically starring in all these commercials, and he's doing a podcast with his brother, and he's also doing Grotesquerie, which they aired the first 2 episodes, I believe, on FX, and on Hulu. So I don't know if y'all seen the new season, or the new series, Grotesquerie, yet. I haven't watched it, but he's currently on that. I don't know how extensive his role is on the show, but yes, he's acting. He's trotting around town, hanging out with his girlfriend, Taylor, who's one of the biggest stars of the planet right now. And he's got other priorities. But I do agree to a point. I will say that, yes, when you are an athlete and you're a footballer, your primary focus should be on football. And who says it's not? You also got to realize Travis Kelce is in his mid-30s. So the bones and the things aren't going to be as well as it was when he was in his teens and his 20s. The older you get, yeah, you're not going to be as agile. You're not going to be as, you're not going to be able to do the things that you were able to do at the times. But I think like now, because he is dating one of the biggest stars on the planet, there's more of an eye and more of a focus on him, which is also the NFL when y'all was doing it, when y'all were sitting out here trying to use Taylor Swift for clout to bring ratings for your show, which I know was annoying some of the football players, the football watchers, because they're like, you're making this more about her than about the fact that we just want to sit here and watch a game. So one person posted, this is such a BS talking point, because if you actually paid attention to Trav, he's 150% locked in on football. So yeah, there are people out here. Let me get it off this queen, and let's move on to Travis with this horrible haircut and that mustache. I miss Travis Kelce looking like like being around black folks. Give him a fade. Get rid of that mustache. Bring the goatee or the beard back. But this look that they got him looking like he, trying to audition for a new season of Hillbilly Hen Fishing. This look got to go. But anyway, and then the handlebar mustache, or the horseshoe mustache, I should say. So they also said outside the podcast that he films on his off day, we do not see him. All the stuff you see him involved with was done during the off season, which is true. Now, I will say this, when I have noticed that when he is locked in, he is locked in. He has not been just like, okay, now I'm playing football, then later on that night, I'm going out, you're seeing me partying out up in the club. You have not seen that. He does seem like somebody who has been paying, like, really focused on football and taking being an athlete seriously. And like there's some people, like I'll use Madonna as an example. When she is locked in and she's on tour, she is very disciplined. There are people who have that. Where it's like, I don't drink, I don't do anything. Like when I'm focused on whatever I'm focused on, I'm from the beginning, middle, and end of the tour, I'm done with that. Same thing I feel like with Travis Kelce. To me, it seems like he is locked in from the start until the end of the season, which would be, late 2025, the spring, I'll say. Maybe the summer. Well, yeah, spring. Because once all the other stuff starts the wrap. Well, here's the thing. It's not even the spring. It'll be like right after the Super Bowl, and around that time. But anyway, so another tagged Harrison into the post and wrote at Rodney Harrison at Rodney_Harrison. If y'all care to follow him, I see you have a family. But what I don't see is you saying that your wife is distracting you from your job. Keep Travis's personal life away from the game or put yours into it. Another person said there's no way Travis stays late at the facility getting more reps in, and they decide to say that. Other fans blame Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and coach Andy Reid for not getting the ball to Kelce. A fan says, and they start blaming his off-season stuff again. No one talks about how Mahomes doesn't give him the ball when he's open. Another added he doesn't have the same speed, and yet he's getting open every play and successfully blocking. I'm done. So it could be a little bit of jealousy and envy in this because look, wasn't we just talking about the fact that Patrick's wife has been a Trump supporter? And there might be a little bit of animosity in there, especially because Taylor at one point was friends with Patrick's wife. And how there could be a little bit of animosity or whatever, some kind of, I don't know. Look, I don't necessarily know if it's the level of their friendship, whatever the case is, but these are the rumors that's floating around, so we got to discuss it. But then other people went on to say this. They said, oh wait, I think I may have read all of these. Now, Kelce's return against the Falcons means that he has just 69 yards across 3 games, although he did manage to double his reception tally to 8. Mahomes claimed afterwards that Kelce's coverage by opponents is making it hard to get the ball to him. The quarterback said, I mean, no respect factor they have for Travis is still unreal and well-deserved. We're calling a lot of plays for Travis, and it's like 2 or 3 people are going to him. He understands. That's the great thing about him. He wants to make an impact on the game, but he wants to win at the end of the day. I'm going to try to do my best to keep feeding him the ball whenever he's there, whenever he's open. I think the more Rice makes plays, the more we're able to run the football, the more we can get Xavier Worthy involved. I think that's going to open him up more. So they said people are really emphasizing trying to take him away, and it's getting other guys open. Now, Kelce's latest off night came after girlfriend Swift failed to make an appearance at a Chiefs game for the first time this season. Well, what are y'all expecting her to show up every damn day? Like, she's got a lot of stuff going on. She does have a free schedule, and she is on a break from her International Eras tour, which she's going to be getting back to soon. And she was hanging out with Gigi Hadid in New York. And there's a lot of things that she's got going on. Now, here's the thing. She doesn't have to travel with him on the road all the time because, look, y'all the same one that were just bitching and moaning about her being there all the time. Now, when she's not there, y'all mad. So pick a struggle. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think there's trouble in paradise? Do you think that the fact that Taylor Swift isn't there is affecting his game? Or is the fact that, you know what? Everybody is not going to be perfect all the time. Some people have good days. Some people have bad days. It's just the name of the game. And it's just the life of an athlete. It's no big deal. I mean, they're still winning at the end of the day. It's not like they're losing. So far, the Kansas City Chiefs have been playing really well. It's just the fact that, they've been winning games. And what irritates me, especially like working in an arena when it comes to sports and being a fan of sports, what irritates me with people is the fact that even though your team won, and even though there's certain situations going on, you will still have people being there bitching about the plays. It's like, let me see y'all get out there and do better. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Felix says, the girl that sang for them did solo music. She had a remix contest I entered in 2005 for a song called Hot Lips. Her name is Kelly Ali. Thank you, because I can remember her name. I know it was Kelly something. They had the song Six Underground on the Saint movie soundtrack. Yeah, their music was on a lot of soundtracks, and I did buy that soundtrack as well. Even though I don't like the movie, I did like the soundtrack because people have to realize in those days, like with that soundtrack, and then they had the Blade soundtrack, which I think, well, no, if that wasn't the kickoff was the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. So it was like when the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, the Blade soundtrack, the Saint soundtrack, the first soundtrack for Tomb Raider. And all of those, there was like this ongoing trend of like really good music, especially a lot of electronic music that was on a lot of soundtracks. So that was like giving me my life growing up. And also, did I mention the Spawn soundtrack? That was another one that I like too. So Taylor and Travis make a cute couple, and I love their dynamic synastry with Taylor being the introvert artsy girl and him being the star athlete. But I hope this is her last man. Who you telling? Because I feel like I don't think you can come back from Travis Kelce. Like who's she gonna get with next? It's kind of like with Jennifer Lopez. After Ben Affleck, like who gonna get with her? I'm not saying that Taylor Coochie is tainted. I mean, Jennifer is, but um, I can't just picture who else would just get with Taylor and be able to withstand all the stuff that comes with being a Taylor Swift girlfriend or being the boyfriend of Taylor Swift, I should say. I think I mostly like football because it's associated with autumn. My home team is terrible. It ranked last in a best team ranking. Well, damn. Child. Damn dogs is barking. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Jussie Smollett. And I've seen the people on social media, acting a ways when it comes in. But anyway, so Jussie Smollett is there, he is promoting a new movie that he wrote, directed, and is starring in with Vivica Fox. And he's reflecting on his darkest day, the day he was arrested 5 years after it happened. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. I think that case is still ongoing. And y'all gonna hate me for saying this, and I don't give a good goddamn, but I hope he gets off. Just like some of y'all be out here, windmilling hard for some of these, for people that are 10 times worth, like a Chris Dan Brown, and some of y'all with Diddy, and some of y'all with R. Kelly still. I don't feel like what Jussie Smollett did is as bad to warrant him being in prison. There's been people that out here lie all the damn time. There's been women out here that have Emmett Tilled a lot of you black men, white women who have Emmett Tilled a lot of you black men in regards to lies and vitriol, and they run around scot-free. But y'all want to lock another black man up? Because why? He a homosexual? So I really feel like y'all need to have that same energy. And I realize a lot of y'all be doing that because a lot of y'all want to can't hunch him because he don't want you. But y'all will sit out here and windmill hard for a damn Chris Brown. Make it make sense. So the actor and former Empire star who was found guilty in 2021 of staging a racist and homophobic attack in 2019 of January reflected on healing from the legal ordeal in an interview with People magazine published Saturday. I saw he also did a Billboard interview that was pretty good too. Saying I moved on and I know that the world one day, and it might be long after I'm gone, who knows, but one day the world is going to fix this. I just can't wait for that to happen because I have a life to live, but the world is going to fix it all. Now, in December 2021, Smollett, who was black and homosexual, excuse me, was found guilty on 5 counts of disorderly conduct. Excuse me. 1 count for each separate time he was charged with lying to the popo in the days immediately after the alleged attack. Smollett told police someone put a noose around his neck and yelled racist and homophobic slurs. According to police, he also told detectives the attackers yelled, "This is MAGA country," before fleeing the scene. Now, do all that sound like a lie? Yes, it do, but I don't care. Because look, this is a lesser charge. This is like wasting my good taxpaying dollars. Well, it ain't my taxpaying dollars because this happened in Chicago. So this is affecting y'all coins. We are trying to go hard and make an example out of this man. So he was subsequently sentenced 150 days in jail and 30 months of felony probation, as well as ordered to pay a restitution of $120,106 and a $25,000 fine. Smollett was released from jail after 6 days due to the pending appeal for his conviction. Now, brothers Amibola and Olabindo Osundario testified during Smollett's trial that the actor recruited them to fake an attack near his home in downtown Chi-Town in January 2019. They said Smollett orchestrated the hoax, telling them to rough him up and view a surveillance camera that had said he wanted a video of the hoax made public via social media. And I guess from what they were saying, all this was stemming because he was receiving a lot of gay, like homophobic and racist death threats. Because when he was at Empire, and Empire was produced by Fox, and I guess because of his political activism and all this other stuff, he felt like he was being tarnished and he was being dragged on social media, and he felt like the people at Fox wasn't doing nothing. So he took it upon himself to orchestrate this hoax, and now people want him to fry for it. So they say in February, Smollett appealed his conviction to the Illinois Supreme Court, claiming he is protected by double jeopardy. An Illinois appeal court affirmed his disorderly conduct conviction and jail sentence in a 2-to-1 opinion for the Illinois Appellate Court in December of 2023. Smollett recalled the emotional aftermath of his high-profile hate crime case in his interview with People. He said, "I was numb. I didn't know how to connect the dots. I really genuinely did not know. I couldn't make sense of what was going on, and I couldn't make sense of what people were actually thinking. What exactly do you think happened? I couldn't put 2 and 2 together." So also said the Emmy-nominated actor also opened up about hitting rock bottom with his February 2019 arrest. He said, "That was a pretty dark day because when everything clicked to me of what was happening, a lot of things tested my strength. A lot of things tested my mental. But the one thing I never lost, I never started thinking that I'm somebody that I'm not. That is one thing that did not happen." Despite his legal troubles, Smollett says he had to move forward, saying, "I'm not going to sit here and victimize myself and be like, woe is me, because there's so many people that don't have the platform or the resources that I have to protect themselves. I'm very well aware of my privilege in this situation. That's why there's a certain point where it's just like I can't hold on to the pain. I was on the up and up." And this is what he disputes claims that he staged the hate crime for fame. So he probably didn't do it for clout, but if you believe the rumors of him setting this whole thing up, it's basically the reasons that I explained. So, he is self-directed a movie called The Lost Holiday, where starring Vivica Fox and Jabari Red. Jesus, I'm gassy today. Now, for those of you who don't know what the film is about, it is a same-sex drama, which is basically about Jussie Smollett plays a person who's in a relationship with this guy, but when the man passes unexpectedly, she's coming to her where her son resides and everything to plan the funeral arrangements, or some people say the funeral arrangements, only to discover that her son's husband is already putting the plans in place. So this sounds like a really interesting film that I would like to check out and see. And also, when I was watching the Billboard interview, Jussie Smollett revealed that there is a sequel to B-Boy Blues in the works. Now, I don't know if y'all seen the original B-Boy Blues movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I need to go on one of the platforms, whatever, like maybe Prime Video, and see if like that movie is available to buy, because I need to have that movie as part of my collection. And I thoroughly enjoy B-Boy Blues. I shout out to James Earl Hardy, but I remember as a teenager growing up, I don't remember how I got a hold of that book. I think maybe, it was an older black gay man that I became friends with as a teenager who was reading that book. I didn't know anything about it. And that was the first time that I was introduced to same gender loving people, like black men who are in love with a black man, and the tumultuousness, the highs and the lows and all this stuff. And that was my first experience of seeing that, this is possible, that black men can love each other, and it's not about, people are dying of AIDS and this sort of thing. So seeing that positivity, and yeah, there was drama in it because, gays, we love drama, and there's got to be drama in a book to keep us on that roller coaster. But that was my first introduction. And then, of course, Elin Harris and things of that nature. And then, to see that this book was actually brought to life finally as a movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking forward to the fact that we can get Second Time Around being turned into a movie. and where we go from there. So he basically said that I want my future kid to look at me and be like, yo, he did that. He got through things and he created a world or attempted to create a world and leave it just a tiny bit or a lot of it better than it was when he found it. This is what he told People magazine. He also said that I just really want my kid to like me and be proud of me. I'm doing all this stuff for my kid for one day them to read. Okay, that was like a misprint. For one day them to read this conversation and just be like, oh, he did that. He was doing this for us and he did. I don't know what the hell you talking about. He like being vague in what he's saying. But I'm glad that he's talking about you gotta look at the bad moments in your life and think, they make a 2-hour film about my life and then I'm done and then probably be a 7-minute storyline at most and whatever all the stuff that he's saying. I know sound like to me he was dancing around the whole thing, but whatever. Well, I guess we'll have to keep our eyes open and see where they take us in regards to this whole story of like the future. Is he going to jail? Is he not going to jail? I know some people was mad because, people are y'all giving him a platform. So y'all give Trump a damn platform every damn day and he a convicted felon. Or y'all continue to give all kinds of criminals and people. Y'all gave Anna Delvey a damn platform. Man, I keep forgetting to bring that story into the thing. We'll have to remember to bring that up tomorrow. Y'all gave her a damn platform with Dancing with the Stars. So and y'all giving Gypsy Rose Blanchard a damn platform, and she unalived her damn mother with the help of her ex-boyfriend who's still serving a life sentence. So y'all continue to give criminals a damn platform, but this man ain't been put in jail yet. But y'all want his head on a pike. Get off my line with this mess. So, I'll say this, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, you said I sent you an update on Diddy. Hold on. Let me see what that is because we got one more topic and then we done with today's show. Diddy assembles new legal dream team for third bail attempt. So did he find it? Well, let's find out. So it says Diddy is, well, this is according to TMZ, and this came out just now. Well, I guess maybe like an hour ago because it's 3:19 p.m. That's West Coast time. That's about 6:20 p.m. Eastern time. I had to think because 3-hour difference. And I lived in LA, so that's why I was knowing that. But anyway, so it says Diddy is once again trying to get himself released on bond 2 weeks after he was arrested, and we're told he's building a powerhouse legal team to try to make it a reality. New court documents show the rap mogul's lawyer filed to appeal the most recent order denying him bond. The appeal will be his third formal attempt to secure his release from behind bars as he awaits trial. Now, sources close to Diddy tell TMZ the rapper has added 2 more attorneys. Well, goddamn, you need all these many attorneys, so that's like, what? 4? Anthony Rico and Alexandra Shapiro to the legal team working on his highly publicized criminal case. For those wondering, Alexandra is not related to famed defense attorney Robert Shapiro. Well, thank God, because I was about to ask that question, but I'm glad that we know she's not. So it said, we're told Tony is known as one of the finest trial lawyers in the country, and Alexandra has been called one of the best appellate lawyers practicing today. Sounds like Diddy is building his own dream team. So, okay, OJ, you better build your dream team. Now, I don't think you're going to get off like he did, but anyway, let's continue. Now, TMZ broke the story. Diddy was arrested by federal agents, blah, blah, blah. We already know why. And you always talk about you broke the story, but then, Page Six, Radar Online, Daily Mail, they all said, we were the first to break it. We were this, we were that. Okay, y'all all want to do that because everybody's reading your article. Y'all want to be the first. You have that. I'm not buying it though, but we'll entertain the foolishness. So they said Diddy's arrest came 6 months after federal agents raided his LA and Miami homes in connection with the trafficking investigation. The father of 7 has denied the various allegations leveled against him in his case and several civil suits. He also wanted to plead not guilty to the charges, and his lawyer Mark Agnafilo later declared the music producer as an innocent man with nothing to hide. Yeah, okay. What? An innocent man. Okay, Billy Joel, you innocent? So they said Diddy has been denied bail, blah, blah, blah. So this is the 3rd attempt. I don't think he's gonna get off. But nice try, niece. You keep trying to fight to get your little justice and getting out of jail. But they're gonna keep denying it because they're like, no, we don't want you trying to tamper with the case and trying to intimidate witnesses. So you're gonna have to rot in that old Brooklyn prison surrounded by rats. But anyway, so that's the update. Thoughts on DirecTV buying Sling and Dish to create the ultimate paid TV stuff. I did hear about that. I need to know more details. I don't have DirecTV. So I don't feel no ways about it. I don't use Sling. I don't. Once upon a time when I was growing up, my parents did the Dish Network. Dish was so annoying because like when it rained or when it was severe weather, it would interfere with the the trying to watch TV shows and stuff. So Dish was a mess. And then over the years I moved on. I had Optimal. Optimal was trash. Then I remember when I lived in Harlem, I had the worst damn internet service, Spectrum, and I hate one of the things. And I hate is a strong word, but I hate when when you live in a certain area, especially like if you live in Manhattan or whatever, and they don't give you options. And when I lived in Brooklyn, it was Optimum, so I had to be stuck with that. When I lived in Harlem, I was stuck with freaking not Verizon. When I was stuck in Verizon's the best. It's expensive too, but and that's what I'm currently using now. But when I lived in Harlem, it was Spectrum. Spectrum is god awful. I had so many issues over the years with the internet in regards of y'all remember if y'all watch my old videos, y'all see how horrible the internet was in regards to that. I used to have so many issues with that, especially when it came to like when I was doing my stuff with my producer EJ. And now I use Verizon. I was like, yeah, you gotta put up that good coin if you want the good internet. So um, so yeah, there was that. So yeah, I don't use DirecTV. So yeah, the I use Philo. That's what I basically use if I want to watch any of like the Sling type stuff that I don't have access to. They said why what he did doesn't touch what Cheeto has been, and that is my point. I'm glad somebody sees it because y'all be like I was reading the comments when I watched the video for his interview with Billboard, and the disgusting comments that people were saying, and I'm sitting there like, this is exactly how I'm looking at it. Like what he did, a lie, and all this other stuff, going and blaming MAGA and all this other stuff doesn't even compare to the stuff that the orange a-hole has gotten away with. But y'all want him to fry. Why? Because he's black and gay? I want to feel for Jussie, but I can't stand somebody playing. Well, yeah, I will agree with you. I don't like nobody playing in my face, too. I'd want him to sit on my face, though. Let me stop. Jussie is cute, though. I wouldn't mind sleeping with him. That's just me being a hoe. But, wonder what's the tea with him and wait, this tea about him and Raheem Smith. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he got some of that sweet meat. Cause and I've seen nudes of Jussie. He got some meat between me down there. Wait, what? Did I see Pitchfork's list of top 30 best songs for the 2020s? No, I did not. But you want to know something? You reminded me of this. This has come out today. 100 best songs of the 2020s so far. You want to know something? I'm thinking I'm gonna use that as a thing for tomorrow. And what was the other thing that we talked about earlier? Because I need reminders. The Pitchfork list, and then there was the Grammy predictions. That's what it was. So Grammy predictions 2025. So Rolling Stone, I see, did an article. Out Magazine did an article. And you know what? I will actually work on that tonight, and then we'll bring that up as a thing for tomorrow. And we'll talk about it, and when I'll sit and I'll decide, we'll dissect and all that other stuff. You said my parents had Spectra. I remember also DirecTV will mess up when it rained too. They said Rolling Stones Grammy prediction. So yeah, we got that. Dancing with the Stars. Oh yeah, and Dancing with the Stars chick. Thank you. Look at y'all sitting up in here paying attention. So yeah, those are the three topics we got for tomorrow. So I'm gonna add that. The Cowboy card, the Grammy thing, the Pitchfork thing, the Anna Del Vey topic. So far we got three, and whatever else comes out within the next 24 hours. Oh yeah, so I would not be surprised if he and Raheem hunched. Just like, he ain't the first musician or artist to hunch a porn star. Look at what's his name, Ricky Martin, with that porn star that he been running around with. That allegedly he was the one that he was cheating with while he was married to Juwan. And we seen that picture of the adult cinema, the adult performer who posted a picture of him and Ricky on Instagram. And I know one of my friends, shout out to Adam, Sailor Mermaid met him. Well, he met him when he was naked. When we was on Fire Island, I seen this fine ass boy look like literally looks like Superman, coming towards me, body-eyed out. And I'm like, who is this coming towards me with all this dick? Because he well endowed, child. And he was like, Kris, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's my friend. So he was like telling me something in the comments. He was like, oh, I don't, he does not like the adult star, whatever. And I was like, why you don't, well, he don't like Ricky Martin either, because he said Ricky act like his itch don't stink. And then he don't like the porn star because he said that he met him and he kind of judged him on his profession. And back in the day, like he did like music videos for like adult, well, not adult, like porn, like club artists or whatever the case was. So he did some of that stuff. He's also worked with oh my god, I forgot the damn photographer. I think he did Mike Louise photo like shoots with him, and there was another artist that he did the videos for. Cannot remember off the top of my head what his damn name is, and it kills me when I can't remember people's names. He did some stuff for like Ultra Nate. He also directed videos for like Amanda Lepore, things of that nature. So um he did some stuff back at like modeling gigs and stuff back in the day, but he currently works and he does like a bus driver. So, and he was like, well, he kind of, when he asked me what my profession was, because he was interested in him because he's a good looking guy. But then when he met him, he's like, oh, so what do you do for a living? He told him what it was. He kind of felt like he judged his profession. But it's like, at least he got an honest job. And there's no shade to sex workers, because you know I windmill hard for my sex workers. But you cannot be out here thumbing your nose at somebody for having a regular, honest job that pays their bills. Because here's the thing also. He lives in Long Island. You know that Long Island tax is crazy. But he owns his house. So at least he got something going for him and he pays his bills and he's able to take care of himself. Unlike you, who got a sling ding-a-ling to high profile celebrities to get your coin. So we're not going to sit about here and do the whole judging of people's professions when you are basically a paid prostitute. So I don't like people like that. Like I love my adult cinematographers and I love my my content creators and stuff. But when y'all out here thumbing y'all nose at people like they can't afford you, bitch, you better be glad somebody got coin to give you. Otherwise, you can get up off your ass and get a job. But anyway, you know I got a windmill for my friends. Anyway, let's get into the final topic and let's talk about this Drag Race star who says appearing on Drag Race helped them come out as trans. So in case you don't know who I'm talking about, because there's been so many trans women that have, or so many contestants on the show who have come out as trans over the years. I would say beginning with, if I can remember off the top of my head, Kylie Sonique Love was probably the first one to come out as trans on Drag Race. And then it's kind of had this snowball effect since then. Because I don't think anybody from season one is identifying as transgender as that I can think of off the top of my head. So RuPaul's Drag Race season 16 star A Mandatory Meeting has explained how being on the show helped to affirm her trans identity. So sometimes known as the CEO of XEX and sometimes known as Plain Jane's arch nemesis, A Mandatory Meeting appeared on the 16th season of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2024, and though she was relatively early out, became a firm fan favorite. And I told y'all the tea that I believe Drag Race new season 17 comes out on January 3rd. Yes, y'all heard that tea from a very reliable source. So y'all heard it here first. Anyway, let's move on. I had to pull up that picture of Miss Amanda, whose drag seems to have gotten a lot better because she was a mess, but she was on the show. Now, Amanda came out as trans while her season of Drag Race was still airing and has now revealed just how being on the show helped to affirm her identity as trans. Speaking of Big Dipper and Meatball on the Sloppy Seconds podcast, shout out to them. I know Meatball. I went to their taping. I also did her, well, I was in the audience and I attended her show that she did at $3 Bill in Brooklyn. So anyway, Amanda said that being consistently referred to with she, her pronouns provided her with gender euphoria that made her realize that she was a woman. But I think maybe that was just unintentional because, in our community, we call everybody she. We call her, she, girl. The lingo. I was given non-binary for a couple of years before Drag Race. This is what Amanda said before explaining. But honestly, being on set and having people call me Amanda all the time, like she, herring me. The performer added that one of her co-stars also helped her on her journey. She said, I remember Morphine Love Dion looked at me like I was talking, and when I was talking about how much I loved having nails, and she was like, "Oh, bitch, you are such an egg." With egg meaning someone who's trans, but at least partially unaware of it. I was like, huh? And then I painted myself like an alien, and they said they sent me home. So I was like, let's investigate this. So she also went on to say, on a serious note, Amanda said that she had thought about whether or not she was trans for a couple of years, stating that it was something that I had been pushing to the back of my mind. She recalled thinking, if Morphine, who's known me for a matter of weeks, is already picking up on this, maybe that's something to consider. It kind of makes me wonder also if Morphine identifies as trans. I mean, she's gotten all this work done or whatever the case is. She does give tuna salad, full on fish as a woman. So I wonder if maybe she clocked it because maybe there's some things that's rumbling inside. I'm not trying to, paint this picture, whatever the case is. I'm just wondering out loud. But until she comes out and says she's trans, she's otherwise. Now, mandatory meaning joined a number of RuPaul's Drag Race alumni to come out as trans in past months and years, including most recently Madame LaQueer, J. Jolie, and I see some recent pictures of J. Jolie. She looks good. Pheromone and Adore Delano. Now, speaking of Adore Delano, I did post a picture of her on my Facebook and all those other places recently. She looks good too. Money well spent, Adore. You are giving fierce in your look. So I'm definitely loving what I'm seeing from Miss Adore. Now, when she came out, the 27-year-old star told Entertainment Weekly's Quick Drag podcast that her divorce, which happened shortly before her Drag Race appearance, was partly the result of her partner refusing to accept her gender exploration journey. Well, that's his prerogative, because I'm sure that when he got with her, he wanted a man. And at the time, Amanda was presenting man. But now she's like, that ain't me no more. And a lot of times you got to be able to learn and grow and live your best life and do what works for you. At the end of the day, you can't be out here worrying about what other people think and changing up your situation. So it's like, if, that's how you feel, then I'm with her on that. Because, people evolve, people change, people grow. And I'm sure that Amanda is not the first nor the last in regards of being a trans person or starting out one way. And over the years, you outgrow your partner and you start feeling like, you know what, this is not how I identify anymore. I've changed so much. I've evolved. And the person that you married going in, I'm really starting to understand and discover myself and love myself and realize that the way that we went in as married couple, this is not how I am and this is not how I feel. And if you want to walk away from that, okay, that's your loss. But now she is come, she started out as a little worm or whatever the case is, and now she's butterfly, she's come out of her cocoon and she's a butterfly. So spread your wings and prepare to fly because you are a butterfly, in the words of Miss Mariah Carey. And look at Miss Morphine, so of course I had to pull that picture because her soul been clocked. Apparently, her soul been clocked by morphine. So shout out to her. And shout out to all these ladies of Drag Race. I'm living for y'all. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are in this whole situation, shout out to you, Amanda. I'm glad that you sing your truth, that you and you gonna live in your truth. I live for my trans brothers and sisters, and I will always be out here fighting for y'all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. And you said this is Rye respond to the pics a few days ago with this. Ooh, that's a read. He said, you said a mandatory meeting fan favorite. Was she not? Wait, who was the fan favorite last season? Did they really have a fan favorite on that show? Well, I think maybe a lot of people did feel that Amanda was a fan favorite and people were living for Amanda because she was going up against Plain Jane, and Plain Jane was working everybody's damn nerve. People wasn't like her. They felt like her shade was forced. Unlike, Mistress Isabel Brooks, we were in on the joke. We was living for the fact that she was being messy intentionally and trying to poke the bear. We were entertained by it. Mistress knew what she was doing. She clocked in to work. She came to work. She clocked in. She knew what she was doing when she came in. To me, when I looked at Plain Jane, she just lacked self-awareness, and she worked my entire root canal nerve. So, and then Amanda came in and had to read her down to the floor. And that was the funny part about Plain Jane. Like, you were trying to read, but then you got read back and you couldn't take it. You weren't good at you want to talk about reading. You weren't good at reading. So there was that. So I guess she was a fan favorite in that part. I think I'm going to start rewatching those seasons of Drag Race because one of the things I already know. I think Drag Race UK just came out. I heard the first episode was really good, so I need a palate cleanse after the disaster that is because it's still on. And I heard we got 4 more episodes of torture to go. Global All Stars. I can't take it anymore, but I'm just gonna stick through it. But I need a palate cleanser in the meantime, so I'm going to. I gotta catch Drag Race UK. I gotta catch Drag Race España. There's 2 episodes that came out. I haven't watched the new season yet, so I gotta watch those. And I need a palate cleanser because I'm irritated with everything that's been going on with this show so far. So with the other show, and I know I need to rejudge because January is right around the corner. So I want to be able to watch the old episodes of Drag Race. But there's so many shows calling my attention right now. Like there's some really good TV this year. And plus, with working and doing the show, there's not enough time. 24 ain't enough time. And 24 is not enough hours in the day. I need more. I need more hours. But anyway. Ooh, let me take that banner out. Okay, so we are at the end of today's episode of Kris Unfiltered. I want to thank you all who have tuned in to this day's episode. For those of you who are jumping in the comments, who are chiming in, so on and so forth. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button if you haven't already. So that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Unfiltered. I'm going to try to be on tomorrow and give y'all another show. There's a lot of things I got to work on to prepare for that. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely give you all a show tomorrow. So definitely love you all for watching and love you all for chiming in and all that good stuff. And until next time, shadows. Oh, I need to set an outro video. They said I could do that. Let's see how that works.